Knicks family, what's popping? Tonight, in about 20 minutes, Allonzo Trez's mother is going to join the show. She's going to tell her story as we raise funds for the Women in Need program, the largest provider of shelter services for families in New York City. 56,000 people. 56,000 people will be sleeping in the New York City shelter tonight. 26,000 of those people will be children. We need your help. We're trying to raise $1,000 over the next week. We're gonna hear from Allonzo's mother tonight. We're also gonna talk Knicks, of course. All right. Terrible performance tonight. Horrible. Let's go. Knicks family, what's popping with you, man? And you know what? That was just a very lackluster performance tonight. Performance that, I'm not even, let's be real. It makes me not even proud to say that I'm a Knicks fan after I watch a performance like that. Word up. That was just a bad performance tonight. We've got to do better than that. We've got to. It's a young team, ups and downs. We're going to have ups and downs. You're going to play well. You're not going to play well. You're going to have nights like this. And, nights like this makes you not even want to talk Knicks, but it is what it is, man. I'm going to talk Knicks anyway. I'm going to talk Knicks anyway, but we got to do better. We just got to do better than this. We let a team that averages 40 points in the paint, last in the league, that averaged 40 points in the paint. We gave up 58 points in the paint tonight. We're going to look at that. We're going to look at it. Just totally opposite from what we seen the last time we played them. I guess you got to expect that from a young team. You have to expect that from a young team. That's what's going to happen when you have a young team, when you got young guys that really don't know what they're doing out there on the floor. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as you heard from the intro, Allonzo Trez's mother is going to join us. She's going to talk to us. We're just going to have a nice conversation. All right. And when it's time, I'll ask you in the chat if you have questions, and you can put questions in the chat and we'll ask. I'm going to ask you to please be mindful. All right. Don't say nothing crazy, because she will go back later on and look at it. All right. Be respectful. She's a very nice woman. Okay. But yes, she will be here to tell her story and to continue Allonzo Trez's Built for This campaign. If you didn't know, you should have known, because I've told you plenty of times. Allonzo Trez was raising funds for the Women and Children program. Right? He was selling t-shirts. Built for This t-shirts. The Built for This campaign. And those t-shirts, proceeds from those t-shirts, went to support the Women in Need program. All right? The Women in Need program, they provide shelter for families across New York City. Women and children. Tonight, 56,000. Like I told you, 56,000. 56,000 of your neighbors will be sleeping in shelters tonight. 26,000 of those will be children. So we're trying to raise $1,000. So I'm going to ask you tonight. No super chats. Don't give me a super chat. Okay? When you give me a super chat, I definitely appreciate it. YouTube takes 40%. So I'm going to ask you tonight, instead of giving me a super chat, to just donate to the link that I'm putting in the chat right now. I'm going to ask you to just donate there. Whatever you decided you were going to put in the super chat, just donate it. Crowdrise.com/built for this. And is number 4. Okay. And if you're unable to donate, help me out by sharing it on Twitter, sharing it on Facebook, sharing it on Instagram. Okay, and let's raise this $1,000 and get it out to the Women in Need program. All right, and all while we are, talking to Zoe's mom. Of course, I'll continue to remind people. So don't be annoyed with me. All right, don't be annoyed with me. I'll continue to remind you and ask you to donate to the Women in Need program. All right, but let's talk about these Knicks. Zoe's mom is going to come on. She's going to come on about 11:30 or so. Okay, and but let's talk about these Knicks in the meantime. Let's look at the game. Let's recap the game. When Zoe's mom is off, when she's done talking, we'll open up the video chat. We'll take phone calls. Up until that time, it's just going to be us talking. Okay. Because the video chat gets wild sometimes. Guys just be tripping. So I don't want no disrespect going on. I don't want guys to be talking some stuff like they be talking, in the background. You guys don't get to hear what they're saying in the background sometimes. And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I usually got to tune them out or just mute them so that I can't hear them in the background. But sometimes they say some wild stuff. You know what I mean? And I don't want Zoe's mom to feel disrespected. You feel me? Anyway, let's take a look at the game tonight. Like I said, Zoe's mom, she'll be here in about 20 minutes, or she'll be on in about 20 minutes. Was there anything good? What was there anything good to take from the game? I don't know. When you break down the game, let's just take a look at. We'll take a look at what the matchups. We'll just look at the matchup tonight. We'll look at the score quarter by quarter. The Knicks end up losing the game 128-100. Right, terrible game. And right from the jump, we gave up 38 points in the first quarter. All right, 38 points. It was 38-30 in the first quarter. Gave up 38 points. It was 31-28 in the second quarter. And we didn't win a quarter. Gave up 30 points in the third quarter. Gave up 29 points in the fourth quarter. Right? Basically, it just felt like, throughout the game, it just felt like we weren't competitive. We won the rebounding battle by 47-46. 32 assists. The Celtics had 32 assists. The Knicks, 21 assists. Listen, we're going to stay amongst the lowest in the league in getting those assists, throwing out them helpers all season long. I can guarantee it. Guarantee it. Because we don't have an offense. The Knicks shot 39.6% from the field. The Celtics, 53.3%. The Knicks shot 35 threes, 34.3%. The Celtics, 34.2%. It's not horrible. It's not great by either team. The Knicks went to the line 20 times. The Celtics went to the line 20 times. Bottom line, folks, we can't shoot. We cannot shoot. We suck at shooting. 39.6% from the field. And this is like every once in a while we have a game where we shoot well, but for the most part we don't shoot well. Every single game. And I don't know what to say, man. Listen, I know, what kind of team we are, and we're not going to be we're not a playoff team. Even though we are, just a couple games back, that it'll spread. It's always like that in the beginning of the season, but it'll spread once we play more games. I can guarantee it, because we can't shoot. A stricter offense, I think, will help it. I really do. A more structured offense will help it. And even if it's not a more structured offense, players that can actually execute the small details of an offense would help it. We're terrible at setting screens. We're terrible at cutting. right? Emmanuel C, the problem is also defense. That's part of the problem, right? Because we can't stop teams. But listen, we're gonna have to start getting used to some things with the way with the NBA, the way that the NBA is today. Teams are gonna score a lot of points. You got to be able to get stops in those fourth quarters. But, you're not going to have the days where some teams average 85, 90 points a game is over. The days where your defense is going to be holding teams to 100 points per game. Maybe you're going to have one team that's able to do that. But those days are gone, I believe. Those days are going to be gone. You're going to have, you really do need a good mix of offense and defense. And your offense needs to be a space and pace type of a game, right? A space and pace type of a game that is altruistic, right? The type of a game that, where the ball is shared and everyone gets a piece, everyone gets a touch. That's the way the game is today, really. Really, that's the way the game is. You know what I mean? And, you got to have guys that are willing to play that style of basketball and know how to play that style of basketball. And when I say pace, I want to clear something up when I say pace, because I was having this conversation with someone on Twitter just a few days ago. We were talking about pace and what pace really means. See, the way that the NBA defines pace is the number of possessions that you have. And I think that's the wrong way to define pace. The way that I define pace, the way that I think it should be defined, really can't be measured. I don't know how to measure it with, just straight up analytics and stats. I don't think you can. It has to be measured with some other type of metrics. But what I define and what I see as pace is not how many possessions you can get, because anyone can run down and shoot the ball and get a possession and then come back and get another possession. So you have more possessions. And so it looks like you play at a fast pace. Anyone can do that. I look at it a little bit differently, right? I see that pace. Pace is like something that I preach to my players. And I know some people are going to say, oh, Sam, you coach high school. This is not the high school. This is the NBA. Whatever. Principles are principles. Right? You make a layup, you make a layup. All right. Principles are principles. I teach something called, what I call, pace and patience. Pace and patience. Two words that kind of contradict themselves, right? Pace and patience. We want to play with pace, not meaning we want to get the quickest shot in a shot clock, but we want to move the ball with speed, right? We want our cuts to be with speed, crisp and with speed and power. We want our screens to be set strong, and we want it to be played fast, but with patience, meaning that we are patient finding the shot we want. But as we are finding the shot we want, we move the ball crisply. We move it fast. Right? We swing that ball. Bam, 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 bam. Find the shot. You get what I'm saying? To me, that's pace. Ralph, fast ball movement. Exactly. Move the ball fast. Not that you got to get a shot early in the shot clock. Just move that ball fast. Boop, 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 boop. Set the screen, cut, bam. There it is. Things like that, right? That's what I consider pace. Now, how do you measure that? I'm not sure how you measure that, right? So you have pace because you're moving the ball, but you're patient to find the shot that you want. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying. So when people talk about pace in the NBA, it's a little bit weird to me. It's a little bit weird. But so I don't know. I think I lost myself there a little bit in what I was getting at. Forgot what I was getting at. Forgot what I was getting at. But the way the NBA is played today, I guess it's played at a faster pace, more possessions. So there's going to be more points scored. That's the style of game today. So, right now we're in the midst, we're in that transition. And when we look at a team just scored 120 points, it's not going to be the same as if teams scored 120 points 15 years ago. It's a little bit different because everyone's going to be scoring high, which means you've got to be able to score the ball, but also you got to be able to knuckle down, though, in that fourth quarter, like Emmanuel C. was saying. We can't get key stops. We do got to be able to get key stops. So your team's got to you got to have a team that can do both, right? And it's hard to find those two-way players. It's hard to find those two-way players nowadays. Let's take a look at some deeper stats. We'll take a look at a few, just some deeper stats. And then we're gonna get on. Then we're gonna get on with the interview. All right, let me tell Guillermo right quick. Guillermo, what's going on, man? What's popping with you? We're getting ready to have Zoe's mom on, so when she comes on, it's just gonna be. We're not gonna have anyone else in the video chat.
Oh, okay. You can kick me off if you need me.
And then afterwards, we'll have, we'll open up the video chat.
All right, man. I'll be in the chat room. All right. Peace, man.
Cool. So let's look at some deeper stats. We're gonna look at some deeper stats right now. All right. See what's going on before we look at the box score. So if we're looking at a few deeper stats right now, points in the paint. 58 points in the paint for the Boston Celtics. That was one of our keys to success. It's one of our keys. The Knicks needed to try to keep the Celtics out the paint. The Celtics are almost last in the league. Not almost last in the league. They are last in the league at points in the paint, averaging 40 points in the paint per game. Right? We gave up 58. We gave them 58 points in the paint tonight. A team that usually does not score in the paint. I don't know what we're going to do. Teams can see every single time. Excuse me, I got the wrong thing up on the screen. There we go. Teams can see, they know that we can't guard the paint. And this is a problem for us. And even though we have Mitch Robinson, who is a shot blocker, can't guard the paint. Take a look at the shot chart that's up on the screen. Just take a quick look. Look here. All these shots, even you got mid-range shots, right? But you see the Celtics made 49. They made 49 baskets. They shot 92 baskets. Right? You can count how many baskets were shot outside of the paint, but you can see how many were made inside the paint. Inside the paint, the Celtics made like 21 baskets outside of the paint, which means they made 27 baskets or 27 baskets, 28 baskets inside the paint for 58 points. I mean, we've got to do better. We've got to do better protecting that paint. You know what I'm saying? This has been a season-long problem, and it's not getting any better. It's getting worse. It's getting worse by the game. Getting worse by the game. Those are some deeper stats. Turnover points. I mean, the Knicks usually do well capitalizing off of turnovers. Right? Big lead, Knicks none. Bench points, the Knicks 32 bench points, the Celtics 56. We definitely needed our bench to step up tonight, knowing that you got someone like Gordon Hayward coming off the bench for the Celtics. Right? We definitely needed our bench to come through. They did not come through tonight. just a little bit of deeper stats, my friend. Just a few deeper stats. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? We're currently waiting for Miss Trier to come on in. So if you want to give me a call, tell me what you think. Give me a call. We could talk a minute. All right. Talk to me a little bit. Tell me what you've seen from the game, what you think about the game. All right. And I'm gonna tell you, it's not a little bit, it's definitely disappointing for me. Right? Definitely give me a disappointing. So while we're waiting for Miss Trier to call in, give me a call. Let me know what you think about the game. All right? Let me know what you think about the game. We'll look at the box score real fast. All right, take a quick look at the box score, see what's happening, see what's going on there. All right, tonight, Mario Hezonja, 18 minutes. What are we gonna do with Mario Hezonja? That's what I want to know. What are we gonna do? How are we gonna deal with this thing with Mario Hezonja? Because, we expected that Mario Hezonja. We expected Mario Hezonja was going to, it was going to be different. We thought that he was turning it around. It seemed like he was turning it around, but it's yet to be. Is he going to turn it around? I mean, I hope so. We need him to. Mario Hezonja tonight. Tonight, Mario Hezonja was 18 minutes, 3 points. Right? 1 for 4 from the field. He just hasn't found his groove. And I'm just, when is he going to find his groove? When is it going to happen? We'll see. We're going to come back to the box scores because we have Miss Trier with us. And, we want to get to it. Right? We want to get to the interview and talk a little bit. Remember, all right, I want you guys to remember, take a minute. And we are trying to raise funds, trying to raise $1,000, maybe tonight. If we can, that'd be great. If not, then it's going to be up for about a week. All right, we are supporting Allonzo Trey's Built for This campaign, where we are supporting the WIN program, Women in Need. All right, 100% of anything you donate tonight will go to Women in Need, the largest provider of shelter and supportive housing for homeless families in New York City. They've invested in over 200,000 families, and you can help be part of that investment. You can help be part of that investment. The link is in the description. There's a link in the YouTube chat where you can donate. All right? So help us out. Let's try to reach that $1,000. And let's go on and talk to Miss Trier. How are you doing today?
Hi, Shamir. I'm very well. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
It's truly a pleasure and honor that you would invite me to come onto your show. I just very much respect everything you're doing for your community and for New York City. So I'm truly honored to just be invited onto your show.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm glad that you would come on. I know Knicks fans, I know that Knicks fans are really, Knicks fans are proud of Zoe. Everyone is around, is supporting Zoe and really is excited about what he may bring to the Knicks in the future, so we're very grateful to have, and the fact that we were able to get, he didn't come drafted and he's undrafted. I know Zoe take, it's like a chip on his shoulder because he feels like he should have been drafted, and he should have. He should have. Definitely should have. But, he's with the Knicks, and, we're looking forward to having him around for a while. Yeah.
It happens for a reason. So we absolutely embrace love all the New York Knicks fans. It is so much joy in my heart when I see the New York fans embracing Allonzo and the rookies. And I'll tell you, the draft night, the night before, I went to sleep and I prayed that my son would go to New York Knicks, and my son did the same thing. And so to think that we're now here and my son's playing in the Garden is what he dreamed of. I just couldn't be more happy for him.
Yeah. I know you were telling me. You were telling me last night when we had a conversation about you coming on. You were telling me on how you guys took a trip to New York City when long before even like the Time magazine interview and things, and you just kind of fell in love with New York City then, and so it's a wonder that he's here.
It was, and so that's why it truly is for us a dream come true that he is a part of the Knicks now, because he was only in the 6th grade, and I'll never forget that summer. Allonzo and I came out to see our family friend Steve Goldstein, and I'll never forget flying into New York City. And when I looked out the window on the plane, it was just all we could think of was the Mecca of basketball. And it was truly, I think it really planted that seed in my son's heart that, just to go to Rucker Park, we went there, that we went to the Bronx, we went to St. John's High School, and we just fell in love with New York. And that's where, it really did foster that dream in my son's heart. And to think after the New York Times story, to think that like a decade later, he'd be putting on a New York Knicks uniform. Yeah. I mean, that's the American dream right there. That's
great. The first time that I've ever, I met Zoe, and he's really really nice kid, really nice guy, super respectful, and it's one of the reasons I really want to support him. I remember when the Knicks played the Wizards in DC, and I was interviewing fans afterwards, and then I came across a guy, and I said, I was just asking him about the team, and he said, well, my brother plays for the team. I was like, who? He said, Allonzo Trier. I was like, oh. So, I asked him some questions and things. And then, later, Zoe sent me a message on Twitter. He said, well, that's not really my childhood friend. That's not really my brother. That's my childhood friend. Yeah, you want to, his name is, what is it? What's his name again? Rendell. Yeah. Yeah, and go ahead. I'm sorry.
He was. So when Allonzo was like from, I think, 3rd grade to the 7th grade, I'll never forget, I did everything I could so that my son and I could move into these apartments in Federal Way, Washington that had an indoor basketball court. And, prior to that, I had been taking him to different YMCAs, boys and girls clubs, and he would go and I would have him practice every day because I wanted him to be able to go to any gym in any environment, in any location, and be able to play on different rims. Mm-hmm. So once we had gone through that for about 2-3 years, going to different gyms, I felt like, okay, now we need to have our own gym, because we would go to different basketball courts and we'd be in the gym, we'd be shooting every day, and there'd be these grown men come in, and my son's only in the 3rd grade, and they would want to go full court. And they would get very impatient with us because we were taking up half the court. And I would look at them and I'd say, look, I respect the fact that you want to go full court, but we were here first. I paid for this membership, and we're going to finish our workout. Mm-hmm. And they would look at me like, you're crazy. And I throw Zoe the ball and he keeps shooting. And they'd be quite mad, but then they'd walk away and they'd watch us and they'd notice that Allonzo would make his shots, you know, that we had a pattern and that we were determined to finish our workout. So even though sometimes they did want to fight, but eventually they learned because they were sitting there every day.
Right.
And they were like, hey, do you want to like run full court with us? And they'd start inviting Allonzo to play with them. And so we kind of made them learn to respect us because we weren't going to give in. And I always told my son, you know, one day you're going to thank me for this, that I didn't just, you know, give up and just let's run off the court and this is their court. I taught you that, you know what, we earned the right to play on this court and we're going to finish our workout. And even though they're very big men that really literally want to pick me up and move me off the court, I'm not getting off this court.
Yeah.
And later on, I would say 95% of the time, they really respected us and we befriended them. And as Zoe grew, he would play with them full court and it actually turned into something that there was real respect. And I think that helped Zoe be able to play against older kids and older men and not be afraid.
Oh, that's good. What was it, you know, what was it like, you know, as Zoe was, you know, he was building his name, he was building his rep and everything. And, you know, just that process, what was it like?
It was a lot of camps. For 3 years in a row, I took my son to Pittsburgh to the 5-star basketball camp. Mm-hmm. And that's probably, I would say, the most competitive camp location for 5-star, at least of the top, I would say of the top 3. It was a wonderful environment and it was the East Coast. And I really wanted him to understand that the East Coast, it's a different type of basketball. It's grit. It's just more defense and it's more intense. I mean, but believe me, West Coast, I have nothing but love for the West Coast and all of the players that came up out of Seattle. I mean, it makes a name of its own. But I wanted him to have that diversity of playing on the West Coast, playing in the Midwest and playing on the East Coast. So I would take him to this camp and I think it really did contribute to Allonzo and developing his entire set of game. I think it taught him that fierceness in him, you know. So every year he went, I told him, you're gonna walk away with the most outstanding player. You are, because you can go in there and you're gonna work your ass off. And 3 years in a row, he got the most outstanding player award. Nice. And it was, I think, those experiences that really helped build that confidence in him. Because he just came in, he was like, you know, we were like just a mom and son. We were ordinary. And all these other kids had big time fathers and so forth, and they had a name for themselves. Well, Allonzo went in there and he made a name for himself. And his 3rd year of being there, everybody wanted to take it from him because he had built that reputation at 5-star. And that was like major premier camp. I mean, Howard Garfinkel, I just have so much respect for him, and he just embraced Allonzo, and I'll never forget, he told me, he talked to Coach Miller and told him, you got a good one there. And that meant tremendous to me because Howard Garfinkel is a legend, you know, and 5-star basketball really helped develop that. So I think going to that camp, you know, really helped with Allonzo learning and understanding just everything, how hard you have to outwork others, you know, to be on the court. You have to outwork. Defensively, offensively, you know, is so important. You know, Sean Miller is from that area. And I wanted my son to have that defensive grit in him.
Yeah. And you know, you can see it. You can see that grit and just that kind of killer instinct type of vibe that he has on the court. You can see it. I mean, a lot, obviously, you know, you spent a lot of time, you put him in environments to help him develop that. So kudos to you. I know Knicks fans are happy everywhere that you put him in those environments, and now, you know, now he's doing it for the Knicks. And I'm sure, some of your background kind of rubbed off on Zoe, because, I know, you were kind of, telling the story on, how just, how you were brought up in different things. So I'm sure, he's got a lot of that for you. Do you care to share it all?
Sure. I think that adversity is really kind of like what I've been built upon, and I've really tried to instill that in my son, the power of resiliency. I have a twin sister, so my sister and I, we are Korean, and so we were actually born in Seoul, Korea, and we were abandoned as 5 months old. And thank God we were adopted, but we never met our biological parents. And so coming to America, becoming naturalized and so forth, we never really learned the whole origins of, our nationality and our culture. And so my son, he's Malaysian, and I'm very proud of that, but I really want him to be able to embrace that other side. And I that he is Asian, and that it's a beautiful culture that he also has. Being in basketball and so forth, it's so important, that you also embrace who you are. And so I feel like for my son, it's really, we've had a remarkable journey, and filled with, learning to be resilient, raising him on my own. As a single mom, it wasn't easy for me going to the camps and all the games, because I didn't play. And so I just had to learn through experience. I had to learn by listening and watching. And of course, it takes a lot of humility. But I think I really believe in my heart that for my son and everything good that he does on the court, I feel that he's blessed. I feel that it's a story that it really encompasses that if you work hard, if you believe in yourself and you have a dream, it doesn't matter, what your dream is. If you believe in it, and I always taught my son, I don't care if it's chess, if you want to be a veterinarian, whatever you want to do, I will help you 1,000%. Yeah. But you have to sacrifice. And then when you do succeed, then you use yourself as that light where you are shining, and then you help others. And I truly believe that for my son, that he will always remember where everything came from. And so giving back to the community, giving back through philanthropy is probably the most important thing you can do with your career.
Yeah.
And using sport as that shining light, I think it should be everyone, even in their smallest way, if they can give back and use their success to help others, especially the most disadvantaged. It's a beautiful thing that you can do.
Yeah, definitely, and of course it shows in his built for this campaign, like one of his first jumps into I guess you want to say marketing was to give back to a program that we are supporting tonight. The Women in Need program. And listen, we were having a conversation last night, and I understand, because I come from a background where I had substance abuse and things in my family, and so I understand the different type of things that you go through. I mean, I can remember coming home and there wasn't even food in my fridge. There were other things that didn't belong in there, but it wasn't food. And sometimes I would have to go out and just stay at friends' house just so that I could eat, me and my younger brother. And so it's not easy to go through those type of struggles as a parent. And even, you know, my mother, you know, she was raising myself and my younger brother. And then she had her things that she was dealing with on top of that, which just made the struggle, which just compounded the struggle, you know. And then, of course, it had an impact on us. But no matter what, and we witnessed her struggles and it impacted us, but she always, you know, preached education, preached for us to do the right things. She, no matter what she was doing, she continued to discipline us to do the right things. And so we came out and we did the right things. And the story, of course, goes a lot deeper. I'm just kind of hitting surface things. But if it wasn't for her strength, I don't know that I would have the strength to deal with things that I dealt with in my life during that time and after. My brother as well. We both had to deal with some, you know, real serious issues growing up in the neighborhoods that we grew up in, and seeing the strength of our mother fight through everything that she fought through and still tried to take care of us, and did take care of us. You know, besides what we didn't have, that's what she gave us. Any material things that we didn't have, she gave us something way more important. And for, you know, for minority families in this country, it's important that you get those type of things from your family. And I know there's a lot of people that's probably on this chat and all over the place that were brought up by single mothers, right? And if they, you know, I'm sure when they look back and they see what their mother sacrificed to help them get where they got to, or to help them to achieve success, similar to what you've done for Zoe, it's just amazing, and it's the reason why we, you know, are, you know, trying to raise funds for this women in needs program, you know, because there are mothers out there who are doing what they can, and they're gonna fight through and they're gonna struggle. But they're eventually going to pull themselves out of it with the assistance of programs and people like us and everyone that's in the chat. You know, they're gonna come up and they're gonna raise some strong children. And you know, we just want to be, we want to assist. And I really thank you for sharing the story, because it's definitely inspirational. I mean, I relate to it from the son's point of view. So I've seen and I know exactly what it's like to be in that situation, you know. So we just thank you for being so strong and being able to forget about the basketball side of it, just being able to raise Zoe and raise him to be a strong man, you know, and have the type of character that he has. So, you know, we definitely thank you for that, because we need more people on earth that's doing those type of things.
Well, it really takes a community, and it just starts with a community, and it reaches the higher levels. It should be, you know, from a state level to a national level. But, you know, giving back, you know, paying it forward is the greatest gift you can do, regardless of where you come from. I really believe that when my son is special on the court, he's a representation. He's a light for Jesus. And helping other people, whether it's through sports, entertainment, music, you know, that's really what life should be about. And so I just think it's wonderful that you base your, you know, it's about the New York Knicks, absolutely, but it's also about the people that really need the support. And that's the most marginalized, the most disadvantaged, the most struggling. They really need our help, not just during the holidays, but on a day-to-day. And even if you can just volunteer your time at the Boys and Girls Club, you know, even if, you know, like they say, the parable, the mother that gives her 50 cents and that's all she has. means even more than a wealthy person.
That's right.
And so everything's meant to be, and I feel that my son being blessed, it's also meant to be. And that what he does with his career, you know, and how he can, you know, help those that helped my son and I when we were just, you know, trying to make it in this world. Every homeless shelter, every domestic violence shelter, every food bank.
Yeah.
It's tremendous what you can do.
That's right.
For your community.
That's right. And I know.
And so.
I was gonna say, I know I know you do this. You know, you kind of do this by trade. This is, you know, this is what you do. You help families, mothers and fathers and children, access resources and you know, so that they can better themselves. And so, you know, again, thank you for doing that part of it as well. You know, just staying in the community and being a pillar of your community.
I have good people in my life and people that really care about making a difference in the world. I truly believe, you know, that I'm meant to do that. Not because of me, but because it's what God wants me to do and it's what the world needs. Yeah. You know, you know, my son has a great team around him. You know, Joe Dumars is highly inspirational, and the things that he teaches Allonzo, you know, that you know, the greatest thing you can do in remembering, learning from your pain is then you help the next person. Mm-hmm. That you, and you give them hope, and that you inspire them, that it's usually not through our achievements that we learn, it's through our pain when we have to endure and learn to be resilient. And that's the greater story of it all. And then you take that pain and you go and help someone else that's enduring that and struggling. And then you can be a light for them.
Yes. Well, Marcy, is okay if I call you Marcy?
Sure.
Now, I really appreciate you coming on the show, and you know, just kind of telling your story, and you know, giving us a little bit of you know, just, you know, background of Zoe, and you know, being able to, you know, being out there and helping your community, as I just said. We would love to have you, you know, come back sometime.
My twin sister wants to say hi too.
Oh.
I can just say one thing. I just want to say to the Knicks fans that if there's anything that we would want to be known to everyone, the most important thing is that we're very humbled by this. And if Marcy and Zoe's story can be an inspiration for not just boys out there that have had disappointments or obstacles, but for mothers out there, because basketball is a very male-dominated sport. And when you're a mother like my sister coming in and you have to fight your way through all of it, and you've got a son that has a dream, and she's sacrificing her career and her life for her son, hopefully her and Zoe can be an inspiration for boys out there that if they go undrafted, they don't give up. They fight through it. They're relentless, and they can use that to become the next Allonzo Trier. That's the whole reason why we came on here, not to boast, not to be in any way conceited. We just wanted to come on this show to be an inspiration so other people out here can succeed.
Oh, and we definitely appreciate it. Yeah, listen, I know Zoe is going to be a great inspiration for a lot of people. And I know I feel like, you know, even though he wanted to be drafted, he's going to use this as, you know, as a way to motivate him and motivate others.
About it. Honestly, he doesn't really think about it.
Good.
It's
Good.
You know, we've been through a lot of adversity in our life, even unfair adversity. Mm-hmm. But you know, honestly, everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
And, you know, like Joe Dumars told him on draft night, you never forget this pain, but you use that pain as a powerful tool to do great things. And that's really what it's all about. You know, that's where you learn from your strength and you learn who you really are. That's the true test.
That's it.
And so sometimes we have to do things we don't want to do. That's right. What it's all about.
That's right. That's right. Well, you guys have done a great job of, you've done a great job of inspiring Zoe, and I know you've inspired a lot of people here tonight. And I definitely hope you continue to, push and inspire people to be the best that they can be and do the best that they can do, and continue to dream and push and try to obtain their goals. And your sister's name is Michelle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Michelle, I did see you in the chat one time. I seen you in the chat one time, but I wasn't exactly sure, right?
I listen to your chat every single night, and if I'm not on it when you're live, I listen to it. If not that day, the next day. I never miss your chat.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. But yeah, I did see you on there. So the
next day.
Yeah.
I think that what drew me to wanting to really learn more about you is just your heart and your desire to help,
Yes,
the people that really need our help. And I think that's what, I became intrigued with. So I commend you.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
It is, New York City is a beautiful place, and it has so much heart about it. Hopefully people will remember that, and I know they do. New York has a big heart, and but hopefully people don't forget about that, even when it's March and April, not just Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Yeah. All right. Well, I thank you very much for coming on. And anytime you want to just join the chat, it's open. All you got to do is click the link.
Thank you.
If there's anything that you're doing that you would like us to support, just let me know and we'll go for it.
Thank you. And we love all the New York fans so very much. And you guys are our inspiration.
We're very grateful for you.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Sam.
Thank you both for coming on. And I'm sure I'll be in touch with you soon.
Okay. Take care.
All right.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Marcy Trier and Michelle Trier, Allonzo Trier's mother and aunt. Very, both of them, obviously they have a story that I'm sure goes a little bit deeper. And, but, they really are inspirational in trying to, pushing people to do better and be better. And which is the reason why I wanted to really, help out Zoe's campaign and try to, help raise funds for his campaign. So, I'm asking you all again, if you can, please, donate to the Women and Children program. I'm going to put a link in the chat once again. All right. It's crowdrise.com/built for this. Right. And, let's raise money for women in need. All right. Let's help support Zoe and the things that he's trying to do in the community. And that, Miss Marcy Trier, Miss Michelle Trier, they're trying to do in the community, because, they clearly understand that it's more about the community and how we can push the community forward than anything else. So, thank you guys for, taking the time and listening. I really thank them for coming on the show. And we'd love to have them back on the show whenever it's convenient for them. And then we can continue to, do some things together to raise funds for women and children in need or whoever. However, programs that really impact our community. All right. All right. Let's get back to talking Knicks. We got a couple of people trying to get into the chat. I think I just seen Nate get into the chat. If you want to get into the video chat, you know the link. Get into the video chat, and let's talk Knicks. Let's talk Knicks, and let's talk about what we've seen tonight and what we're gonna do to move forward. All right, let's see who we got here. Got a couple people jumping in the chat right now. We got Nate. We got Ron Cleveland. I'm going to take myself out the chat so that you don't see 2 and 3 people. All right.
What up, Nate?
What's up, dog?
Right, so let's bring these guys over. Let's see what these guys talking about here. Nate, Ron Cleveland, what's popping, man? Nate, what's up with you?
Hey, man, that was a hell of an interview, man. I think anybody out there that has a mom just understands the power that these women have and how inspirational they can be every day. And I thank God every day for my mother. I mean, she made me who I am. And, you know, just listening to her talk about Zoe was just, it was awesome to hear.
Yeah. And, you know, they, you know, 2 very strong women. And, you know, Zoe's mom has, you know, she has another son and daughter that she's caring for. And, you know, she's doing a marvelous job. Obviously, she did a great job with Zoe. And she's continued to pay it forward. So, yeah, we're really appreciative of, you know, her and her sister coming on to the show.
Yeah,
what's
awesome.
up? What's up, Ron?
Happy.
What's up, Ron? Ron Cleveland.
Man. Sam?
Yes, sir.
Man, I want to talk about this game tonight, man.
I know you do.
He's ready.
He's ready to go. Go ahead. Let's go with it, man.
Hey, man, I'm going to be real, Sim, but this, man, what I'm seeing with our coaching staff, it don't look good, man. The stuff we allowing to go on the court, man, you a coach, Sim, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing shots getting jacked up. I'm not seeing no defensive intensity. I'm not seeing people play hard. I'm at a loss for words, man. Especially what gets me tonight is everybody and their mama knew that Boston was going to come back for us after we smacked them that last game. It was even reported. And for that type of energy that was on that court tonight, man, it looked like they were playing pickup basketball, like they were playing horse or something. The only person that starting lineup that really played hard tonight to me was Vonleh. Vonleh played his behind off, man. He played his behind off. Tim Hardaway was up there jacking up shots from Madison Square Garden. I'm looking at this and I'm like, and then I'm watching Kyrie dance on us all night long. And the best on-ball defender you got sitting on the bench. Him and Mitch are arguably our 2 best on-ball defenders. And I'm like, you can't justify Frank being on the bench and Hezonja being in the starting lineup. I'm sorry, man. Hezonja don't need to be on that floor. There's no way in the world. I'm not seeing nothing from Hezonja, man. And it screams to me, you know how I feel about that tank trap. I don't even believe in that. But for what I'm seeing, it just looks totally suspect. And for what Fizz was preaching, talking about, he was going to make people regret, going to make people fear coming back to the Garden and all this, man. Look at our defensive rating. Look at us. We're terrible.
Yeah, because Frank's on the bench.
We've been hoodwinked, man.
He said we've been hoodwinked.
Bamboozled. Run them up.
Tell us how you really feel, Ron.
Man. I'm sick of this. And Fizz looking like a cheerleader on the sideline, man. Sam, I know you seeing some stuff that's looking suspect, man. Let's be real. We got to call it.
I mean, there's been a few things that, I've questioned Fizz about. I'm trying to trust him. I'm trying to trust him.
I'm trying to trust him, but the more and more I'm seeing this stuff, man, I can't ignore it, man. I can't ignore it.
I hear you. I get you. I got you. It's not much that I can say. It's not that much that I can say to refute you besides the fact that I really want to trust Fizz. I'm trying to trust Fizz as we're going through this process, because I do know it's a process and it's not an easy process. You know what I mean?
Yeah, indeed. Boy, I miss KP.
Yeah, and you know, when KP comes back, things are definitely going to be different when things come back, and that's why it's so hard to judge this team right now. Right, it's so hard to judge the team because we just don't know what it's going to be like, what it looks like when KP is here. You know, when we get towards the end of the season, we'll get a chance to see exactly what it's like. You know, not exactly what it's like, but we'll get to see how players fit with KP and those type of things. You know.
Yeah, and I hear you, man. But I'm gonna tell you, Sim, what I'm really feeling, man. I hate to say this, but I really do feel like they're gonna try to trade Frank, man. And that's going to be the biggest mistake. Even Grant Hill, there's an article where Grant Hill talked about it. Yeah. That if we give up on him right now, that'll be a big mistake. And I got a feeling it's going to happen. Yeah. All these reports about John Wall, where there's smoke, there's fire. It's too many people reporting this stuff, man. It's too many. And I'm afraid that we're going to go back to being the old Knicks trying to hurry up and do a quick fix. And I don't want that. I don't want that, man. If this is a developmental year and you're trying to see what you got out your young players, there's no reason why Frank shouldn't be playing more than he's playing. This is ridiculous, man. This is really ridiculous.
You know, and listen, the one thing I do feel like I'm getting afraid a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, getting afraid a little bit that they might trade Frank, and I do think it's going to be a mistake. I am getting a little bit nervous about that because you look at tonight, the Knicks were getting bust. They didn't touch the floor. Why?
Yeah, that looks bad.
But look, the same thing happened with Trey Burke. So maybe this is how Fizz does it. I don't know. Right? Because if you remember when Trey Burke was out and Trey Burke wasn't getting any burn, in a blowout, he didn't touch the floor either.
But you know what, though? It was understandable with Trey Burke because Moutier was coming back. You had to see what you had in Moutier. At that point, they had done moved on to Frank Stark. So I could understand that. But right now, with the way stuff looking, Trey Burke is out hurt with that sprained knee. And Frank still ain't touching the floor. A true point guard ain't touching the floor behind Moutier. This don't look right, and you know he talk about pace. You watch that game tonight, our pace was terrible. We looked like we were running a half court offense.
Yeah, and well, you know,
we was waiting on the defense to react instead of making them react.
Yeah, you know, I talked about pace a little bit earlier, and you know what pace actually is. You know, and the way the NBA defines pace, I really don't agree with it. You know, the NBA defines pace, you know, with how many possessions you have, right?
No, I don't agree with that.
I think that pace. I think that
whether you moving fast or you moving slow, that's pace to me.
Exactly. But you know, the NBA defines pace by how many possessions you get, and I think pace is something totally different. I think pace should be defined by, you know, how fast you're moving the ball around that perimeter to find your open spot, to find your open shot.
How quick you shooting within that shot clock and everything. I mean, that should be all a part of it. It shouldn't be based on how many possessions you get. That I don't agree with that neither.
Yeah. Nate, what's going on, Nate?
You know, just to kind of chime in on the whole Frank talk, man, I hate to say this, and I really don't want to say it because I still think it's early in the season, but he's doing the same thing Hornacek did to Frank.
Yeah.
And that's concerning to me because this guy was brought in to develop players, and basically what you're telling me is that he's not worth the time on the court. And when your team is that bad defensively, you need to have him on the court guarding the Kyries of the world so he could learn. Because remember when he talked about Knox, how he said Knox would be thrown out there to guard some of the best players, and some days he's going to play well and some days he's going to sink. Right. Why not do that with Frank? You know, why not give him that kind of responsibility too so he can learn? I mean, I've always said you learn by playing.
Yeah.
You know, and they're not giving him that opportunity. And the thing that bothers me the most is that you're starting to see it in Frank's frustration. I mean, he snapped at a reporter after I think a practice or something like that. Basically, kind of gave a sarcastic comment saying, "Well, I mean, what do you think? How do you think I feel about this?"
Yeah,
he's upset. He's frustrated.
Yeah,
you know. And do you really want to do that to a 20-year-old point guard who has a lot of confidence shaking right now because nobody believes in him?
Well, you know, maybe I don't know. Maybe it will motivate him and push him. You know.
Well, he did talk about.
I can guarantee you this, Nate, Sim. I can guarantee you this: if and when they do trade him, he'll be a better player someplace else than he is with us.
Oh, it always happens with Knicks players. They always go somewhere else.
It's a common thread.
Well,
it's a common theme.
Yeah.
When players leave us, they play better. Let's just be real about it. We don't develop young players. We give up on them too soon. Every young player we've had that we've given up on them, watch them when they go someplace else.
Okay.
And I tell you what, let him fall in the hands of Popovich. Let him fall in his hand and watch what happens.
Well, you know, right now, from what I've got, you know, what we've gotten, from, not what I've gotten, what we've gotten from Ian Begley is that the Knicks have not been shopping Frank Ntilikina. So it sounds, you know, yes. I mean, it's probably, we're hoping.
The right thing to say.
Yeah, right. We're hoping, and it's probably media fed, right? Let me run down the box scores right quick. Let me run down the box scores. I'm gonna keep you guys unmuted.
Sure.
I'm gonna run down the box scores real quick, and we can, you know, just kind of, you know, talk about who did what, and you know, look at, you know, what are we gonna do? You know, what are we gonna do? Is this gonna be the permanent lineups? Because after 25 games, you know, Fizz said these lineups, you know, this is when he'll have his lineups, about the time that he'll have his lineups. Is this going to be the permanent lineups, or will there be more changes on the horizon?
Coming.
All right, so let's take a look. Mario Hezonja, as we were mentioning just before the wonderful interview with Ms. Trier. Mario Hezonja, 3 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, only played 18 minutes. Still hasn't found his groove. Noah Vonleh, 34 minutes, 12 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. And Noah Vonleh, let me tell you, Noah Vonleh is finding his spot and where he fits in with the Knicks.
Need to go ahead and sign him right now.
Right. And there's Cantor, 23 minutes, 14 points, 11 rebounds. Tim Hardaway Jr. Another bad shooting night. Some people are going to say to me, so what? He scored 22 points. Listen, the Knicks are a bad shooting team, and
led by him.
You know, he's not the only reason though, because we got a lot of bad shooters on the team.
Yeah, we do.
But you know, because
they look at him though. He's one of the longest tenured playing on the floor right now for us. Mm-hmm. So they're looking at his example and they're following it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he's. Yeah, because he's the guy right now. But
he got the green light for everything.
But listen, let's give him. I'm gonna give him this though. He said he loves that Fizdale wants to support him, but he's not an all-star until the Knicks are winning. We'll give him that because he's right. He's right. He's right.
That's a no-brainer for him to say that. I mean, he know he ain't gonna be no all-star. Everybody looking at us as being trash. I mean, we the laughing stock again this year, man. You got people still not respecting us, but us as true Knicks fans, we know the players that we got and how this team look different from what we've seen in years past. But in the national scene, they're not gonna give us no respect. They're just not. They love the trash the Knicks. They love to hate us.
Yeah.
They hate me.
Yeah. But Tim Hardaway, 22 points, shot 36.8% from the field. Shot 6 for 13 from 3, 1 rebound, 2 assists.
1 rebound.
Emmanuel Mudiay, 17 points tonight. He shot 33% from the field. He had 2 rebounds and 6 assists. Kevin Knox tonight had 11 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers. Mitchell Robinson, 7 points, 8 rebounds. Allonzo Trier.
Knox aggressiveness tonight. He looked real aggressive tonight.
He's getting comfortable. Yep, he's starting to get comfortable. Starting to get comfortable. Allonzo Trier, 6 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. I really wanted to see. I didn't get to see the entire game because I was actually at a high school game.
You didn't miss anything.
Supporting one of. I was kind of in and out. Yeah, I was kind of in and out. What I did see, there just wasn't any energy, so it didn't really capture me to stay involved. Right, to stay involved with the Knicks game because there just wasn't a lot of energy. But I wanted to see Allonzo Trier, from what I did see, mostly played with the second unit with Kyrie off the floor. Right. I wanted to see Allonzo Trier have the opportunity to go at Kyrie. That's what I wanted to see. Right.
Yeah.
One of the ways when you have a star player, you're going up against a guy like Kyrie Irving. One of the ways that you can, make that person work or make it tough for that person is to go at him. Who better than to go at Kyrie than Trier, in my opinion? You know what I'm saying? Trier can score. He can score. Right? He's learning. They're using him at the backup point guard. He's learning how to be a point guard in the NBA, at least. Learning how to be a point guard. The kid can score. He can flat out score.
A lot with that push off. They've been hitting Trey a lot with that little push off.
Little chicken wing.
Yeah, little chicken wing. They've been catching him all season so far with that.
Yeah, and that's going to take him some time to learn, right, in the NBA how to deal with the NBA refs and players and all that stuff. But I wanted to see Fizdale let Trier go at Kyrie, not because he was going to just kill Kyrie. And it would have been tough for him to stop Kyrie on the other end. Obviously, it's tough.
That would have been because Kyrie would have had a hard time with him.
Exactly, Kyrie definitely had a hard time. Kyrie would have had a tough time dealing with Trier as well. And so at least you make Kyrie work. Make him work a little bit because Moutier can get to the basket, but he won't make him work the way that Trier, in my opinion, can make Kyrie work. And so in that scenario, that's when you might want to say, all right, we're going to give you the ball. We're going to let you go. We're going to let you do your thing against Kyrie. Go get him. Just a couple minutes. Make him work hard. Because, Trier's got a strong body. He can kind of bruise guys up a little bit. He uses his body well. Knocks guys off their blocks. He finishes the contract.
Size of a Kyrie too.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen that, but we didn't tonight. He only played 17 minutes. Courtney Lee played 10 minutes tonight, 3 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Damian Dotson, 20 minutes tonight, 5 points, 3 rebounds, 0 assists. Luke Cornett, we seen a Luke Cornett sighting tonight, played 2 minutes.
That was garbage time, and Frank still didn't even play.
Yeah, and then Ron Baker and Frank, didn't get any playing time tonight. And, so there we have it, man. There we have it. I think we looked at the matchup.
You know what Frank need to do? Seriously?
What's that?
Frank need to go off on Fizz.
He probably has. That's why he's in the doghouse.
He's not going to do that.
He need to go off on Fizz, man, because I think Fizz is mistaking his kindness for weakness, man.
He's not going to do that.
Frank just be sitting over there just looking like, okay.
He's not going to do that. He's not brought up like that. He's not that person.
But he snapped at that reporter, so he's got some dog in him.
Yeah, but
he got something in him.
Right, but that reporter isn't his
True.
He's not his coach. It's not, Frank's not going to do that.
Yeah.
He's not that kind of guy. He's not going to do that.
That's wishful thinking, but I'm going to tell you this, Sam, man, I'm disappointed in Fizz, man. I really am, because we know that if you come from that Riley tree, man, defense is first. And all that stuff he was preaching about defense early in the season, man, coming in, signing up with us, man, I'm not seeing no defense from us as a team. I'm not seeing it.
Because your best player's on the bench.
Yeah, you're right. You keep making me think about the tank. For those people who want to see us tank, it looks like we're tanking.
Well, Moody keeps playing starting position, they will tank.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know, man. I seen Guillermo. Where did Guillermo go? Wasn't he? He was just in the chat.
He just went out.
He was just in the chat.
We are 8 and what? 17? 8 and 18?
Yeah, like 8 and 18. Let me ask you guys this: You know, we hear these rumors about John Wall. Where are you at with John Wall?
Don't want him.
Ned, I'm gonna let you go first because
I honestly, Sim, I saw the proposal that they talked about with Dotson and Frank and a first-round draft pick in 2020. Mm-hmm. That just seems like a lot to give away for a guy who's almost going to hit 30. You know, I'm not, and he's got a ridiculous contract, and that's the last thing we need is more loaded contracts to deal with. Like Ron said, we don't need a quick fix. We need to keep doing the rebuilding mode, sign smart young players that are going to make our team better for the next 5 or 6 years, not just a couple of years. I like John Wall, but he's getting up there in age. His contract's ridiculous. We already got one ridiculous contract. The only way I would consider trading for John Wall is if Hardaway's in that deal.
You know, listen, I'm to be honest with you, I like John Wall. I really do. I do
too. I like him a lot too. I do.
But I don't like his contract at all.
Hell no, his contract's horrible.
His contract is crazy. I do not like that contract.
Times 10.
And I don't want to be stuck in that contract because I know what people will say. They'll say, you know, that we've got to have, you know, we need some talent like that, right? If we want to get better or we want to advance and be where we would like to be. But I don't want to be. I think that we can, you know, we're still looking for a point guard. I think that we can find a point guard that's going to be good enough for us to win without paying $40 million a year. All right,
we could draft one. We could draft one, man. There's a lot of good guys that are coming out that we could look at, you know?
Right. You know, and this is just assuming that they don't feel that we have that point guard on the team.
They don't.
Right.
That's why they want Wall. That's why you hear these rumors. They don't believe in any of the point guards we have, because if they did, we wouldn't be hearing rumors about John Wall.
Exactly.
Well, now
they don't believe in any of these point guards.
Well, the thing is, you know, those rumors could be coming from anyone. It doesn't have to be coming from the Knicks organization. It could be coming from anyone. So let's check this out for just a minute. All right. Because this is, you know, I seen some people in the chat saying, yeah, to go get John Wall, blah, 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 blah.
I don't want him.
Right? let's look at this for a minute. Right? So look, in case some of those people do not know about John Wall's contract, what his contract consists of, let's just take a look at this. All right? I want you guys to take a look at this because he's got a serious contract. That
$37 million next year. That's all you gotta say.
It's crazy. That kind of money. It's crazy. John Wall. Look at John Wall right here. He makes $19 million this season, 2018, 2019. John Wall makes $19,169,800. That's what he makes this season. 2019, 2020, it doubles. It doubles, ladies and gentlemen. $38,150,000. 2020, 2021.
They need to be fired.
$41,200,000.
How the Wizards even have a team, man? They have like 3 of the most loaded contracts.
Hold on for 1 minute. Let me finish up. 2020, 2021, $41,202,000. 2021, 2020, $44,254,000. And then 2022, 2023, $47,306,000. Come on, man. That is a crazy contract. I do not know why. I mean, I guess the Wizards thought that they would win in the championship.
Sam, they gave Otto Porter a $100 million contract.
He was a terrible contract. They got 2 of the worst contracts in the league.
And then the Knicks now.
It's just crazy. So what do you think that Bradley Beal is going to want in 2020, 2021, 2022 when he sees that? That's crazy. I mean, that's just crazy. I see Namin Son says that he says they about to amnesty him. You know, I don't know. Maybe they do have their amnesty, and maybe that's what went into their mind. But even if they amnesty him, he still gets that money.
Yeah, he still
gets that money. You know what I'm saying? I mean, geez. That's just a crazy.
What is he worth for you, Sim? What would you? Let's just say if you could just take out that contract and you could pay him, what do you think he's worth a year?
15.
No way.
I think he's worth more than 15.
25.
Yo, yeah.
I mean, you're paying Hardaway $18 million. I mean, you got to tell me 25, at least 25.
But look at John Wall is making.
I'll tell you why. I'm about to go all in when he let me get in there. But John Wall, why I won't touch him?
Yeah, I mean, John Wall is, going to be Bradley Beal is 25, 27, 28. Otto Porter 26, 27, 28. These are some serious contracts. By comparison, right? You see John Wall. Now let's just look at Kyrie Irving. Right? Now, Kyrie Irving is, he's got a serious contract, right? But Kyrie Irving, the marketing power of Kyrie Irving alone is different. And plus the Warriors are winning championships. So you give them the money, right? But the marketing power of Kyrie Irving alone says, all right, we know we can give him $45 million because we're going to make, $200 million. The same year that we give him $45 million, we're going to make $1 billion, whatever it is. Whatever.
No player's worth $45 million.
Well, I mean, Steph Curry, this year, $37 million. Next year, $40 million. The year after that, $43 million. The year after that, $45 million. But the difference though, is that they've won championships. And the marketing power of Steph Curry alone, brings the team money. That that's something that's big, right? Brings the team a lot of money.
Fill his seats up.
Exactly. John Wall, if you go to a Wizards game, when I went to the Knicks and Wizards game, the seats, it was half filled.
Yeah.
Right?
Probably
The
Knicks fans
stadium was half filled.
Mostly Knicks.
And half of those fans were Knicks fans.
$100.
Yeah, and half of those fans were Knicks fans. Now, I guess they don't care who, if it's a Knicks fan or a Wizards fan who buys the seats, because it's still, they're still selling the seat. But so John Wall obviously isn't bringing the people in. Steph Curry's bringing people in, right? And also, Kyrie's bringing people in, and also Steph Curry. He went a few years. He was injured, but then he was really underpaid for a while. Steph was, he was really underpaid for a while. Steph Curry was
2 or 3 years.
Yeah, he was underpaid. So he's getting that contract. Good for him. You know what I'm saying?
Sam,
good for him. But
Sam,
John Wall's not worth that.
I wouldn't touch John Wall.
Okay, go for it.
That question earlier.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why. As a point guard playing that position, man, I want my point guard to be a leader. Man, you're supposed to be an extension of the coach.
Mm-hmm.
For one, you getting in cussing matches with your coach. That right there, you're not a good locker room guy. You're doing that kind of stuff. I'm watching Washington, since he's been there, has underachieved. They have never lived up to their billing with the amount of talent that they've had. They always get off to these kinds of starts. Right. I don't want no parts of him for that kind of money. I'd rather stay with Moutier trashy behind. Here's sometimey. Tonight I'm good. Yeah, you know Moutier good for one game he gonna be good, and he'll be bad for about 2 or 3. He's not consistent. That's why we look back of trying to get another point guard. And I agree with you, Nate. They're not sold on none of these point guards we got right now.
Hell no, I don't like any of them.
There's no way I would touch John Wall. Not even thinking about the contract. The type of player he is, absolutely not. He don't have a consistent jump shot neither.
Yeah, we already got bad shooters on our team.
Yeah.
That's another thing. You're right. We already got bad shooters. Why are you gonna bring another one in there?
Okay, Wall.
If we taking on John Wall, I agree with you, Nate. They got to take Tim Hardaway Jr. That way Trey can get in that starting lineup. Dotson can be his backup. And not only that, they're going to have to take something else. For me to take on that kind of money, man, that's almost $100 million after next year, man. That's close to half of $100 million that you'll be paying John Wall alone.
Yeah, that's
worth
tough.
that kind of money?
Yeah, that's
and
tough.
he party too much. That's another thing. You can't bring him to New York. He parties too much.
He said he parties too much.
He would get arrested in New York.
Let me get to this call. Caller, you on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
What's so poppin'? Simmons Davon.
Hey, what's going on, man?
How's it going?
I'm good.
That's good. What we talking about right now?
We was talking about John Wall and if the Knicks are really, if they really want to make a trade for John Wall. I do not think they want to. I'd be highly disappointed if they did because his contract is crazy.
One of the worst moves we could make.
Yeah, his contract is crazy.
His contract is dead. It's way overpaid. Almost $40 million a year for John Wall. He's not worth it. He hasn't proven to me he's not a champion. He's not an MVP. He's not a he doesn't really make his team better. His teams haven't performed well.
Yeah.
Why would we want to get why would we want to go out and get somebody like that? We could spend I'd rather give $20 million to Cantor than to give it to John Wall,
Yeah,
John Wall,
I don't know if Cantor's gonna get 20 mil, but I feel what you're saying. John Wall.
I'm just saying,
John
Wall. 40 million, like he's not. We could at least get two players with his production for 40 million.
Right. Right. John Wall this year is averaging
his trade kicker and everything. John
Wall is averaging 21 points, 3.5 rebounds, 8.4 assists this year. He's shooting 44.3% from the field, 32% from three. For his career, he's 43% from the field, 32.6% from three. I mean, listen, like Nate, you said, if we're gonna trade for John Wall, you might as well, make sure you throw Hardaway in there. Well, you're trading bad shooter for bad shooter.
Hardaway's contract, Courtney Lee's contract, and Lance Thomas. There's no reason for us to trade. For John Wall. I mean, the thing is, you trade Hardaway. I'd much rather keep Hardaway than trade him for John Wall. Right, because John Wall. I would definitely rather have Hardaway. As much as I, have my feelings about Tim Hardaway Jr. right now, I definitely rather have him over John Wall any day of the week right now. Yeah, John Wall and that contract. And what have the Wizards done? Since he's been there? What have they really done?
And it's not even that Hardaway is a better player. It's just. For his numbers and the money that you got to pay him is it's crazy. It's an albatross.
I feel like you get more for your dollar with Hardaway.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's an albatross, man. And it's crazy.
John Wall, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, look, these are
very overrated in my opinion.
Yeah, and these are mainly it's mainly the media. All right, it's mainly the media. Right. That's bringing up all this all this stuff about John Wall and all those things. So it's probably, I'm pretty sure it's not the Knicks. As a matter of fact, Ian Begley, I believe put it out there and said the Knicks haven't showed interest in John Wall. So I'm just hoping we stay far away from that deal. Really.
Well, so if we did do a trade for John Wall, who would you consider moving?
Dude, I wouldn't. I'm not doing a trade I wouldn't. So
there's nobody. I don't.
I wouldn't.
Even as bad as we're doing right now, and we don't have any superstars or anything like that. I feel like there's no player on our team that I would actually trade for John Wall.
Yeah, I would.
I mean, that we could really what I mean, unless we were Ron Baker, but realistically, there's no package of players that I will put together on our team right now to trade for John Wall.
Not for that contract. And 0.5
not for that contract.
Yeah. 0.5 asked. He asked, does John Wall have a sneaker deal? That's the next thing. What I can't understand, and I'm gonna get off the Wizards and John Wall, but I just don't understand why the Wizards would do that contract. John Wall had a sneaker deal with Reebok, right? Those zigzags.
Right.
Nobody bought them. Nobody wanted them. Nobody wanted them.
He's not a
right? Because he's not marketable.
He's not marketable. At least like you were saying, at least with Kyrie and Curry, jersey sales, T-shirts,
exactly. Nobody.
They're gonna draw you money besides what performance they do on the basketball court.
Yeah, he's not.
Either way, he's not worth $40 million. You know what I mean?
Right, and he's not. Then he had he had a contract with Adidas, right? And the sneakers they were all right. They looked good, but nobody wanted them. Nobody bought them.
Right,
because he's not marketable.
He's not a superstar. He's not a superstar. He's he's a star player in a bad organization.
Yeah. He's not marketable. Hey, I appreciate the call. I know some other people trying to call in, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tim. I'll be in the video chat soon. Peace out.
Yeah, and if you can, man,
y'all, man.
If you can donate to that win to Zoe's Built for This campaign, if you can, bro.
I will.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Okay.
All right, thanks. But yeah, John Wall, you had the John Wall Adidas. I don't think John Wall right now has a deal. I don't know if he has a shoe deal. But nobody really bought those Adidas for John Wall. He's not marketable. So I'm trying to figure out, like, what is the return? What is your return on giving John Wall so much money? What is your return on the investment? Okay, now I'm just speaking from a business standpoint. What's the return on the investment? Because if you gave Kyrie Irving that money, he's a draw. Steph Curry, he's a draw. Right? When Carmelo Anthony was popular, big Carmelo Anthony, he was a draw. Right? He was a draw. John Wall's never been a draw. You know what I mean? So I just don't understand the move whatsoever at all. I can't get it. How is John Wall not marketable? I don't know. I live in the Washington, D.C. area, right? If John Wall was marketable, there'd be billboards of John Wall all over D.C., right? They don't bother to put him on a billboard because he's not marketable, because they'd waste money spending money to put John Wall on that billboard. They would be wasting it because they're not going to get the return on the investment because he's not marketable. Hey, I mean, do you listen to John Wall interviews? Like, he's a very serious dude. You know what I'm saying? And look, I mean, there's a lot of things about him that I respect, right? He's kind of to himself, not really, he doesn't get out there doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff. From what I see, right? But he's also not just, some people are marketable and some people are not marketable, right? And he's just one of those guys. He puts up some okay numbers for a point guard. He doesn't shoot well, and it's been like that his whole career, but he's not, ain't nobody, I don't see people walking around like, yo, I'm about to go get the John Walls. How many people is like clamoring to go get the John Walls? You know what I'm saying? Nobody. How many people? Nobody. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. Some people are marketable, some people are not. Dwayne Wade wasn't marketable. Now, he was worth his money because he helped his team win championships, but he wasn't marketable. Right? Look at any sneaker that Dwayne Wade had. People wasn't trying to cop them joints. He had the Converse. Maybe there was one pair that D Wade had that people was trying to cop. People wasn't really trying to cop those. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was like, yeah, I'm trying to get these D Wades. People wasn't trying to get them. Some people are really marketable in some aspects. Some people are not. Dwayne Wade was marketable because he helped his team win championships, and he was more marketable than John Wall. I don't know if he was sneaker marketable though. Now I think he's with, like, who's D Wade with? As he was, I think this is last year or whatever, but as he was, down to the end of his career, he was with Linning or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. Just is what it is. Let's get back to the video chat. Aunt G, what's popping, man?
Yo, man, for John Wall, for quick, man, I wouldn't want John Wall if he was free. I don't believe in John Wall, the basketball player. I just don't. But he's exciting every once in a while, but he's not a winner. So, if we're gonna trade Frank and Dodson in the first round pick, you do that for Lillard. or somebody like that. Not John Wall.
Okay.
But they were talking about Frank earlier. I don't even have no more energy to like talk about Frank.
Yeah, let's get off of that. Let's get off of that because there's not gonna be much to talk about. We can get mad if he's playing or if he's not playing. I don't think there'll be much to talk about until they actually play. Otherwise,
it's beating a dead horse.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So,
but
what did you think about the game tonight?
Tonight, I didn't. I like the way tonight. I felt like the Celtics came out to prove a point. The first half, I didn't mind how we played in the first half. We hung in there. We played pretty well offensively. But in the second half, when a team that's that much more talented than us, has a chip on their shoulder, and they want to make a point against us, it's only so much we're gonna be able to do with that. With teams like that talented, we got to come in and like catch them off their game, or but not the Celtics were on their game in that second half. When they locked up defensively, and Kyrie's hitting shot after shot, Tatum's not missing, Jaylen Brown's driving to the back. It's just Horford being vintage Al Horford. It's just a tough hill to climb. So that first half, I liked the way they competed. The second half, defense just wasn't there. Even if we were playing great defense, the Celtics are hard to stop. But when you can't defend, it's just really hard to play a team like that. So I kind of expected us to lose tonight, because the Celtics, even coming into the game, they were talking about how they remember the last game and they remember their fans booing them. And I saw the writing on the wall. But this is one of those games. I saw Knox. He's still being aggressive. He made a couple shots or something, driving to the basket. The next part of his development, I think, is holding on to the ball, going to the basket strong. It seems that every time he goes to the basket, someone's knocking the ball out of his hand or he's losing control of it. And it's just he has to learn to, go to the basket strong. Even if he learns like that little cuff move that Stephon Marbury had, that he kind of like made popular, like going to because he goes to the basket like the ball just exposed. He doesn't really know how to drive effectively. So, I think that's the next part of his development. And I would like to see him take a lot more mid-range jumpers. Just get a little bit closer because his mid-range jump shot is pretty efficient. Like when he shoots it, he makes it a lot of the time. So if he could just step in, pump fake, take a dribble, get into that mid-range game and start knocking that shot down, I think his offensive game will open up a little bit. But other than that, man, I think it was a tough hill to climb tonight, but I'm glad the way they competed in the first half. That's it.
Okay. All right. Let me get to a call. All right. Caller, you're on live. What's poppin'?
Hi Sam. It's Nick Snack.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for everything, like with the interview and everything. I thought that was really nice that you brought a different, kind of interview. So thanks for doing that. Oh,
thank you. I appreciate it. No problem.
Yeah.
Hopefully, she'll come back again and talk to us again. And hopefully, I like to get some more similar type of interviews. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's why I said thank you, because I thought that was a different kind of approach. It was really cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about like Charles Barkley, and like I'm just tired of being like the laughing stock of the league. I know we have youth, so we have a better excuse, but it's like how they're cracking jokes on us, and it's like it's not funny, and it's like I'm tired of being that brunt of the joke.
Yeah. And Barkley always finds a way to take a shot at the Knicks, no matter what. We can be good, and he'll find a way to. I didn't even hear what he said. What did he say?
He said that something about like somebody left him tickets in his hotel room or he left tickets for his family who were in town or something in the hotel room, and then he came back and there were 4 of them, but he left 2. And how what's his name got free gear when he tried to interview to be a coach for us.
Hey, that niggas got on late tonight.
Man,
I'm hearing something in the background.
That was Aunt G talking.
Oh,
in the background.
Yeah. So that's the part that it's like I'm just tired. Like like, I want us to, like, get respect and, like, praise. And, I mean, like, at least when you heard, like, Grant Hill talking, he was like, you know, he can understand where we are and everything, like the youth and our movement and everything. But, like, I know Charles, actually, I think it was, like, last season, Charles said something, like, it was kind of surprising because he was, like, pro us, but it didn't last long.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And, you know,
that's just an angle I just want to bring up because that, like, really pissed me off.
You know, and that's a lot of times. That's why when the Knicks play on TNT, I don't watch the after game because I know they're gonna say something crazy. I don't like, you know, I'm in DC, so I've got to watch the Knicks on League Pass, and every once in a while I'll have to end up watching the game from another telecaster's point of view, and I can't stand it, especially when it happens with Boston. It's just the worst when I have to listen to the Boston Celtics telecasters call a Knicks game. It just burns me up. I'm with you, and that's why I stay away from watching it, because most of the time, they talk about the Knicks, and the only thing that they really know is what they read up on just before the game, right? You know, because I mean they just can't, unless it's Mike Breen or someone who's on ESPN. You know, maybe he knows, but I don't listen to it because they start getting me mad and upset. So I'm with you 100%.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk. I mean, because I know you've been talking about the game, but I'm just so tired of that. Like, I want us to just have respect, and it's like, and then especially because we had such a lackluster game, and like, it's like, oh, here we go again, like just the laughing stock of the league, and and like, I don't know, they were saying like how we haven't won anything in so long, and we're just, like had 8 coaches in how many years, 6 years or whatever, like, ugh.
Yeah,
I just want to bring that.
Right, and like it hasn't helped. I mean, of course we were playing tonight, but like it hasn't happened to the other teams. But Barkley's always going to have something to say. Kenny Smith. Sometimes I didn't watch it tonight, but sometimes Kenny Smith, he tries to stick up for the Knicks. Sometimes
he didn't. He was talking about how he got free gear from us. And I'm like, aren't you a New Yorker? Like,
right.
I just wanted to talk about that. So I don't want to hold you up or anything. I just wanted to bring a different point of view tonight.
Yeah.
So.
No, get it out. That's what it's for, man. You got to let it out, because I know it's frustrating.
But thank you for letting me vent.
All right. Have a good one.
Oh, you too. Take care.
Take
All right.
care. All
See you
right,
later.
peace.
Talk to you later. Okay,
all right.
Thanks.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
All right. Let's see who else is in the chat. We got Isaiah, we got Who's Mark, we got Guillermo. Let's talk to these guys. Let's see what's popping. Let's see what's going on. Who's Mark? I'm coming to you, man. What's up, Mark?
Yo, on God, if Anthony Davis, yo, Sin, what up?
Yo, I'm here, man. I'm here. What up? What's up?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you? How you doing?
Man, my, Knicks took an L, but it's all good.
Yeah, I mean,
it's all good.
The crazy thing is, it's like with this game.
Wait, before you start.
So almost even when it was kind of a close game, it didn't feel competitive to me. It didn't feel like the things that I was seeing. It didn't feel like we were ever going to really be in the game. Even when it was like a 5 or 6 point game, it didn't feel like to me like we were ever really going to be in the game. That's how it felt to me.
But when you was watching that game, like, I felt like the ref called on every end of the Celtics. Like, this was like another ref game that I was watching. I was like, because there was times when we was coming back, and then there was so many unmissed calls on it. I swear, when I watch Knicks games, we do not get called, bro. I'm sorry. I'm watching these games. I'm watching this Boston game tonight. There's plenty of times where Trey would come down, or even Vonleh or Tim Hardaway. Even Tim Hardaway, when he'll come down for a layup, he would not get the call. Jaylen Brown was living at the line tonight.
Yeah.
Like, that game was just like one of those games where I guess the NBA need the Celtics to get a win so they get back in the favors of the playoff bracket. So, okay, let's bully the Knicks because no one take them serious. So let the rest deal with the game. That's how I felt tonight. It was just like one of them games where it's just like, all right, I see what's going on. The league is working their hand. The rest is working their hand. You know, and every three was going down. Like, every 3-point shot was going down for them. It was just one of those games.
Just one of those games, man. And I mean, it goes back to what Knicks Snacks was just saying. The Knicks don't get the respect, and when you don't get the respect,
no, we don't.
You know, it's gonna rub off with the refs, with everything, man. And you know, we just don't get the respect, and it's been happening. You know, clearly ever since Dolan took over. Even though Dolan is kind of been quiet, but ever since he's taken over, you know, just the respect factor of the team has just gone down here. I don't know what he's done to brush people wrong. I mean, we've seen what he's done in public, but I don't know, man. They have owners meetings and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
I wonder what he's like.
Well, hold on. They said Dolan. When it comes to Dolan and the players, he takes care of them. Like, honestly, I think Stephen A. said it because he said one time with Tyson Chandler when his mother was sick, he would have he would set up a jet for him to go to California and to come back every time he needed to see his mother. I heard Dolan treat his players correct. He's just a bad GM. Yeah. But I heard he treat his players really like. He treats players really good. That's why Melo didn't want to leave.
I'm sure he does.
Because they get benefits. They get benefits, man.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
He makes so much money. It's just like
he probably the Knicks are publicly owned. Well, MSG, Madison Square Garden, is a publicly owned organization. I'm sure he slips them a little bit of some stock. You know what I mean? So
yeah, of course.
He's not supposed to, but I'm pretty sure they slip. They find ways.
Yeah, they got their little loopholes and stuff like that.
They find ways to do things. That's, of course they do.
I said, I got a question for you. I said, good interview with Trey's mother. I said, how did you get her on the show?
I mean, I just reached out to her and asked her, told her what I wanted to do. I seen what Allonzo Trill was doing with his T-shirt sales, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? That's something that I want to support. And I reached out to her, and she was like, yeah, she would love to. Because and she kind of explained, some of her history. So she was like, yeah, I'd love to come on the show, kind of explain a little bit and why I support, why me and Joe and why we, are philanthropists, like she said. And so yeah. That right there,
I mean, Auntie Michelle, if you're watching, I got a crush on you.
Man, here you go. See that? See that? See that? Now I gotta mute him. Oh boy, these guys. Grandma, man, what's poppin', man? I don't know, man.
That's the second strike.
This dude, man.
Oh, Isaiah is too sloppy, man. This guy, man. It was good, Sim. This game,
man.
I was watching this game. It felt like but Sim, what did I say, man? What's the only way the Knicks could win, man? That's if one guy gets hot, and it's usually through ISO play. How did we win last time? From Trey Burke going off, and it was still a close game. That we don't play we don't have no team defense. Y'all don't want to play Frank, fine. Y'all don't want to play Dotson heavy minutes, fine. The full tank is in, but it's not enjoyable to watch. There's an article that they wrote today, and they were saying, that Fizdale, he's not just a rah guy, but they said that the perception is that that's all he is. He's not an X and O's guy. And I watched this game, Sim. Again, can someone tell me how much movement did you see on the weak side? How much movement did you see from guys who are not involved in the play? How many off-ball screens that get shooters open? Literally, it's almost like, I won't say a triangle, but it's almost only 2 or 3 guys are active on every play. At most 3 guys. A lot of times it's the big guy coming up, setting the pick, and then he doesn't know how to roll down, so he kind of gets stuck and bogged up top, and then maybe he might cut down or something. Maybe a guy rolls down. So it's like this weird free base, like this weird freestyle game that we're trying to play, and it's not yielding any fruit. And on top of that, we play no defense. I'm watching this team, and look, the Celtics are good, but Tatum's not a good 3-point shooter, right? Kyrie's good, don't get me wrong, but they don't have a big man to really run the pick and roll. They don't run the pick and roll that much with Al Horford like that. But these guys are getting backdoor cuts, guys are getting open roll to the middle, and we have no answer for that. Like, we're just so inept on team defense, man. So it's just a hard product to watch, man. And people talking about, hey, let's trade Frank. What are you gonna get from Frank if you don't play him?
Right.
If you don't play and showcase him, what are you gonna get for him?
Yeah, that's
so
true.
I don't know, Sim. This is just not. It's not a good season, man. It's not fun to watch.
And like you were saying, the Celtics, they scored 128 points tonight. They average 108 points on the season. Right? They average 40 points in the paint on the season. Tonight, 58 points in the paint because of all the things that you said. Us not being able to defend, cut screens. It's terrible. It's bad. It's bad, man. Definitely. I mean, you expect to be picked apart somewhat by a team of the Celtics caliber, but we can do. You want to be able to see us trying to do the things that we should be able to do, right? Trying to defend the screen and roll, getting some stops there. Offensively, even if you don't have a system in, I mean, little details that I see that really gets me upset is when you set bad screens, right? You don't know how to set a screen strong, stay there, and the person who is the recipient of the screen not move before the screen is set, right? Just little things like that. Little things like
look at their shoulder, Sim. Every time Candace sets a screen. And sometimes Mitch, either they don't get there at the right time, so the timing's off, or they leave the more open shoulder, the shoulder that's like basically on the side where they're screening. They leave that open so the guy can kind of like push through it and kind of curl around it. And I've seen they had one today where they called a foul against the Celtics, which is, I mean, it's fine. And I think that was when Mitchell was in. But every time we set the screen, Sim, it looks weak. Now, when I watch OKC, look, I know Adams is the strongest guy in the NBA, supposedly, whatever. When he sets a screen, you're not getting around it. You gotta you're not pushing through him. That's what I mean. You're not getting that weak kind of screen. It's that screen where it's like, oh crap, all right, that's that. I have to game plan before I run into him, because when I run into him, I might get around him. When I see Ken set a screen, it feels weak. And then the thing about Ken is that he never rolls. He almost never rolls him. Not to say he never rolls, but he almost never rolls. So then he just stays up top. And then if Moutier is not dribbling down for the layup, he's kind of like, okay, Canada, what are you supposed to do? And then they have to reset the play. Yeah. So it's like the fundamentals for this team, they're not good. There's not one thing about this team where I could look at and it's like, that's a staple of Fizdale. That's a fundamental staple of Fizdale, right? You can watch other teams. You watch Spoelstra, you watch Popovich, you watch this guy Kerr. You see staples, fundamentals that even when they're losing, they're still trying to implement whatever game plan that the coach tries to impart upon them. Fizdale, I don't see anything. And it's bad when you can't even set a damn screen. It's bad when you can't guard your man. You don't know where your man is. And open guys are getting 10 points because they're wide open, making easy layups under the basket. Yeah, sorry to cut you off, Sam. I'm sorry.
Man. And Rick War 82 said offense wasn't the problem tonight. And I disagree. While offense wasn't the entire problem, it was a big problem, in my opinion. The Knicks tonight, when we talk about their offense, well, first of all, the Knicks only scored 100 points tonight, right? Right now, as we speak, the Phoenix Suns are the lowest scoring team in the league, and that's at 102.4 points per game, right? So the Knicks only scored 100 points tonight, right? So clearly, that's an offensive problem. The Knicks shot, 39% from the field tonight? That's a problem on the offensive side of the floor. He shot 39% from the field. Let me see what else. What else can we look at? Talking about the offense, we had 21 assists. We obviously can do better in the assist area. Wasn't the worst assist output that we've had, obviously.
Sim, how are you going to improve the assist numbers if you don't have a system?
Well, that's true.
If you depend so much on ISO and you're just hoping the guy can make a shot or get hot, you're never going to have assists. Like, people say, oh, our players aren't – we get so much on the players because the assist numbers are down. No, Sim, that's because we don't have a system that can get guys easier buckets. We don't have a system where it's like, all right, this guy's not a great three-point shooter, or he's not a great slash the basket one-on-one, but let's run a play. The Celtics had one play, I can't remember when, I think it was the second quarter, where literally they had two guys kind of like confuse our players as to which one was cutting to the basket and which one was coming out. And they kind of like just kept running back and forth to each other until I think it was like Horford got open, confused our guys, got open on the basket and made the open shot. That's an easy assist. Now, obviously, Al Horford's a good offensive player, but anybody can make that. Freaking Bismack Biyombo, if he got open with that, that's an easy layup for him. Well, he might miss it, but that's an easy layup for most average players. And we don't have any of that. So that assist number, that's Fizdale's fault. I don't blame it on the players.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. And you know what? It's going to be, even in the games that we win, we still don't see those principles, that we're talking about. Even in the games where we do, like when we scored 130 points, a little while ago, was mainly because we were hot from the three. I'm just hoping that we are emphasizing those principles, those little things, the little details, because the little details is what's going to make us be able to move forward, help us to move forward. Isaiah.
Hey, what's going on, Sam?
What's popping, man? What's going on with you?
Nothing much, brother. How you doing today?
I'm good. Before Isaiah, before you start talking, let me just do this one more time. The reason, ladies and gentlemen, that Miss Tria's mom was on the show, was to kind of tell her story, and she did a wonderful job telling her story. But it was to support the WIN program, Women in Need, all right, which is the largest provider of shelter and supportive housing for homeless families in New York City. Since their inception, they've invested in over 200,000 families. 56,000 people are going to sleep in a homeless shelter in New York City tonight. 56,000. 26,000 of those will be children. So we're asking you to please support the Women in Needs program. We're trying to raise $1,000. We're almost at $200 right now. Anything that you can do, if it's $1, we have 167 people right now. Everybody donates $1, that's another $167. All right, this link is going to be available for a week. All right, it's going to be available for a week where you can donate. If you can't donate, do me a favor. Tweet it. Put it out on Facebook. Any social media that you have. If you know businesses that might want to donate, give it to them. Right? So that they can donate. If we can get over $1,000, let's do it. Let's help some families out. All right, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. No super chats tonight. Anything that you were going to do in a super chat, please just donate it. All right, just donate it. And before I get back to Isaiah, let me give a shout out to Ralph Petito, who said, gave me a super chat. Thank you. I appreciate it. And he said, just showing some love and support. I thank you. I appreciate that, man. Big shout out to you for that. All right, Isaiah, go ahead, man. What's popping? Oh, hold up. There you go.
Sam, I don't know, man. This is so I counted how many assists the Knicks had. Mm-hmm. I think the Knicks had 22 assists. The whole team has 22 assists. The starting five of the Celtics had 24 by themselves, or 26. Mm-hmm. No team. I mean, how many times? I've been saying it. I've been saying it since the beginning of that new lineup. That lineup will get exposed to ball movement, and it showed. no effort on D, no fighting over screens, no setting screens, no nothing. And I really wasn't trying to put Frank in this because Frank didn't play, and I wasn't going to talk about Frank.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just to me, it's just so funny how Celtic fans don't complain about Marcus Smart. They love Marcus Smart. He's a team player. That's what they need, and I just don't understand why Knicks fans can't embrace Ntilikina like they do Marcus Smart. Let's just say Ntilikina ends up as Marcus Smart. Would you be angry about that? Would people be upset about Frank being on Marcus Smart?
I wouldn't. But
because my thing is, I'm looking at Marcus Smart play. He plays great defense. He doesn't shoot the ball as good as he doesn't even. He has I personally don't think his form is better than Frank's form. I think Frank would have an easier time scoring than Marcus Smart does, but I think both when it comes to defense intensity, I think they're both evenly matched and everything. Yeah. It's just funny how Celtic fans never complain about Marcus Smart and see what he brings to the team, but the Knicks fans complain about a guy that was number one in pick and roll defense as a rookie, and we don't cherish those. We don't cherish those gems of Frank, but it's just we focus so hard, and it's understandable. I'm not gonna sit here and justifying Frank not scoring better. He needs to, but it's just we harp so much on what Frank doesn't do versus what he does do, and it's been clear. It hasn't been really that much ball movement. It hasn't been any defense played. Again, it's sometimes it's really hard to think about the question Fizz when, everybody and their mother sees it about Mario. We all are wondering why is Mario starting. We're just all wondering that. Everybody's asking that, maybe except Wally Zerbiak and some of the Knicks people.
Well, I think I can answer the question, right? I think that because we talked about this when the Knicks were in the middle of the winning streak. We talked about Mario Hezonja and should he continue to start. And at that point, I was like, well, I think we should continue to start him because even if it just lends to the chemistry of the two lineups, then you continue to start him, right? And I think that Fizdale, right now, with the way that it is, it maybe, I don't know how to say it. It maybe sometimes you put someone in a certain lineup because it just opens things up for somebody else, even if that person is not producing the way that you need them to produce, right? It just opens up something for somebody else, someplace else, right? Like, for example, in the beginning of the season or in the beginning of preseason, the question came up, who was going to be the starting point guard at the beginning of preseason? And I said, I think Fizz is going to go with Moutier at the beginning of preseason. I didn't say I think he was going to be the starting point guard. I said at the beginning of preseason, I think that he's going to try Moutier out. And the reason why is because I felt that it opened up room in the rotation. It made the rotation to where you can have Frank and Trey Burke come off the bench and play together. That was why. Where if you started Trey Burke, now do you want to have the same type of point guard between Moutier and Frank in that second lineup? So that's why I thought Moutier starting was going to be the option at the beginning of preseason, like the first preseason game. Sometimes you just have somebody in the lineup because it opens up space, it opens up the rotation. It provides you have a better understanding of the rotation with that person, either in the starting lineup or on the bench. Sometimes it just happens that way.
And you know what, Sim? You know what I was thinking too, Sim? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead.
Oh, and I know it's late, and I know it. Do you think we missed Joakim Noah a little bit on the defensive side, just a little bit?
I don't know.
Because I'm just watching Cantor, Sim, and it's just I can't even describe the feeling I feel when Cantor's on the floor and he's making Al Horford look like Dikembe Mutombo in the Nuggets. That's what he looked like tonight. He looked like Dikembe Mutombo in the Nuggets.
I mean,
and I'm just like, and it's like, at least, all right, at least with Noah, he was smart on defense. We could never take that away from him.
How many games did Joakim Noah actually play for the Knicks?
Like all together?
Yeah.
I think like 64 games.
Did he play that many? How many? I
believe so, because there was a stretch where he did play with KP a lot and them and stuff with Derrick Rose and all them.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much it would change us on the defensive end, honestly.
I know, man, listen, it's just, I've never felt this way about a player playing defense and seeing this amount of no effort on defense since Melo. Like, this is how bad his defense is. It's like, at least with Melo, his quote-unquote excuse was he uses so much energy on the offensive side that he never played defense. But this dude is just like, I literally don't see effort with Cantor. And it's really disgusting of how people want us to be, like, usually your big man is your tone setter for the team. Like, I remember Tyson was our tone setter on defense, but it's like this dude Cantor, man, it's just like I don't understand it. I don't get it. It's just confusing me, Sim, with the defense with him, with no effort. And we can see it. It's plain as day to other people. The players can see it.
Well, of course. That's why we're one of the worst teams in the league at opponents' points in the paint. Right? We're like 28th in the league at opponents' points in the paint. Opponents score 51.7 points in the paint on us, and that's going up. That's going up after this game. Let me see what you got to say, Nate.
It's crazy because I'm looking at, no disrespect to them, but it's like number 20. I don't even know the dude's name. Number 27, and Al Horford getting literally open alley oops to the rack, man. I'm just like,
yeah. Well, I mean, some of it is Cantor, some of it is scheme. Go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, just to chime in on this conversation, we also got to forget that KP was a hell of a rim protector. Like, if you looked at the numbers when KP was either playing the 5 or the 4, they had one of the best rim protections in the NBA. So, I mean, we got to be real here. Having KP not be there, who's arguably our best shot blocker, is really making it easy for players to score in the paint. And I think, we got to be real about that. Cantor's not going to be on this team next year. It's almost 100% given. He's not.
Right.
And I actually just, I'm a big Bleacher Report person, so I just read an article on the Bleacher, and they're saying, hey, it's time to trade Cantor, and get some assets for him now and trade him as a rental to some team that's either a contender or somebody who wants a young center, and see what you can get out of it for him. And then he can decide his fate on the free agency market later.
Yeah, and well, I mean, maybe someone who's looking for cap relief. But then if there's a team looking for cap relief, then that means they're sending money back to us. See, that's going to be the problem with Cantor if you want to trade Cantor, right?
Yeah.
If you want to trade Cantor, they're going to be looking for cap relief because he's a free agent this summer, right? And if they're looking for cap relief, that means they want to send money back to us, unless there's a 3-way trade somewhere, unless it's a 3-team trade.
Yeah.
They're going to want to send money back to us, which we don't want money either. So I think the best thing that's going to happen with Cantor is to let his contract expire at the end of the year, and then that $18 million opens up to us to be able to sign other players.
But what if somebody's willing to trade us like a draft pick for, like, let's say a 2nd-round draft pick for Cantor, or maybe even maybe a late first round? I mean, Cantor's put up good numbers, and we already know we're not going to bring him back. So when you try to get something out of him before he leaves for us officially, I don't know.
I mean, I just don't. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he makes $18 million, so that means you got to take back $18 million. Now, some of it you might be able to waive away, but some of it, if they're taking back, if any team that's trading for Cantor, if they're going to be looking to free up cap space, that means that they got to get rid of money past this summer, and it just, I just don't see how we're going to be able to trade Cantor unless the only way that I see that it could happen is if there was a star. No, if there was a star player or whoever that we wanted to get in free agency anyway, and that team was willing to trade him, and they were going to trade him to us.
Oh yeah, signing
contract, something like that. Not even a sign and trade. It could be a trade, right? Something like that. Then okay, you might be willing to take back money if it's a player that you covet. But you're not going to take back money. I mean, the smartest thing, I think, unless you're getting a player that you want, like really want, the smartest thing I think you do with Cantor is let his contract expire. All these players, they're going to let their contracts expire so that they can free up as much money as possible in the summer, right? Because, like, for example, Moutier, and some people say, well, how do you know the Knicks might sign Moutier back? Da-da-da. They're not giving him a qualifying offer. I'm telling you that right now. Emmanuel Moutier. I don't care what he does this season, unless he's got to have, like, he has to look like Kyrie out there in order for the Knicks to give him a qualifying offer.
They still might not sign him.
Let me tell you why. He makes $4 million this year. If the Knicks extend a qualifying offer to Emmanuel Moutier, it is $12 million. They are not going to. They're not going to extend a $12 million qualifying offer to Emmanuel Moutier and eat into that 2019 cap space, because that's what will happen. $12 million, and it'll eat into the cap space, right? Emmanuel Moutier is not going to get a qualifying offer, and if he does not get a qualifying offer, then he's a free agent. Does that mean that the Knicks wouldn't sign him back? There's still a chance that they could, but now, they can't match anything. He's a free agent. He goes out there and he does what he does. You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of like what the Lakers did when they tried to sign LeBron. They renounced all the rights to their players.
Exactly. That's what's going to happen. The Knicks are going to renounce the rights to their players to open up as much. To open up as much cap space as possible. They're going to renounce those rights. Renounce those rights. Open up as much cap space as possible. The only person that they're not going to renounce their rights to is KP. They're not doing that.
Hell no. Put him on the free agency market, be taken to heartbeat.
Right. They're not going to do that. They're not going to renounce that. So let's go back. We're going to take a look at it real quick. All right.
I got a question for you too, Sim, when you're done.
One second. Right. Just looking at the contracts right now, right? Emmanuel Moutier. So I'm sorry, it's not the qualifying offer is $5 million, but there's a $12 million cap hold. That's what it is. His hold is $12 million. Right, El Honcho, exactly. You got it. The hold is $12 million, but that's if they extend the offer, which they won't. Exactly. Right. So his 2019-2020 qualifying offer is $5.7 million, but it's a $12 million cap hold, which is just like signing him for $12 million, because you've got to bunch out. You've got to hold $12 million of your cap that you cannot use. You know what I'm saying? That's. So having a cap hold of $12 million is just like, signing him to $12 million, right? Because you've got to hold $12 million. So, that's not happening, right?
Yeah.
You got Kristaps Porzingis. His qualifying offer is $7.5 million, which means there's going to be a cap hold of about $14-15 million, right? Which they're, we'll see what they do there, right? We'll see what they do there. So that's that. I mean, that's the thing. Now, could they bring Moutier back still? They could still bring him back. right? But if he plays really well, then there may be some teams who are in the conversation, right? And then with Allonzo Trier, right? Allonzo Trier is making $77 million right now as a two-way player. And if the Knicks, which they're not going to do, right? But if the Knicks decide, from what I understand, they're working out some, they're negotiating and things like that. But the Knicks got to figure out what they're going to do. They got about a week before they got to figure out what they're going to do with Allonzo Trier. About a week. Because if they decide, and this would be such an awful move if they decide to do this. If they decide to let him go and play in the G League, the slight would be awful, right? It would be awful for them to slight him that way after he's done what he's done as a rookie. Okay, and then at the end of, and then he would be a restricted free agent, I believe, at the end of his rookie season. And then, they could be priced out because the team may give him an offer.
Yeah, he could pull that Jeremy Lin thing where he went to the Rockets and asked for more money after the Knicks tried to offer him something.
And then they could be priced out. So I'm pretty sure they don't want to do that. So they've got to figure out exactly what they're going to do. If they're going to waive somebody, if they're going to trade somebody. Listen, we're hearing a lot about trade rumors and things like that. Part of that reason why has to be is because teams know that we've got to clear up some room to make room for Allonzo Trier, which could happen through trade. Trading away two players, bringing back one, trading away a player, bringing back a draft pick, whatever it is. B-baller for real. No, I'm sorry if I said 77 million. 77K. Apologize if I said 77 million. Right. So something's got to happen within the next week with Trier. Something's got to happen. And we'll see where that's going to go. But, there's got to be a move made. So we should be watching and paying attention. Right. So, while these are trade rumors that we're hearing, with Frank and all that kind of stuff, it comes from someplace. Right. It comes from someplace because Scott Perry and them guys, they've got to be making calls. They've got to be making calls to see what's out there, to see if they can make a move so that they can clear up a roster spot. So, we need to watch that and see what's going on with it. All right, see what's going on with it. Keys to the game. Let's take a quick look at the keys to the game that I had. If you check me out in the post game, I always put up some keys to success. And, some of the keys that I had was make it hard on Kyrie. And I apologize. I do not have queued up the thumbs up or the check. The thumbs down or the checks, I don't have it queued up. Apologize for that. But make it hard on Kyrie. Did we make it hard on Kyrie? Let's look at Kyrie's numbers. Let's see what he did. See what Kyrie did tonight. I mean, from what like I said, I didn't see the entire game, but from what I seen, Kyrie had 22 points. He shot 60% from the field. He had 8 assists. He was 3 for 6 from the three-point line. Didn't entirely make it hard on Kyrie. I mean, Moutier had 17 points or whatever it was, but I don't think he really made it hard on Kyrie. Defensively, we obviously didn't make it hard on him. I mean, the Celtics had one player in the plus who was negative in the plus minus. That was Aaron Baines, who played 1 minute. He was a -1. Everybody else was a plus 10, plus 16, plus 15, plus 16, plus 15, plus 16, plus 13, plus 8, -1, plus 17, plus 5, plus 5, plus 5. All right, we didn't make it tough on anyone. All right, take care of the ball. Let's see, what were our turnovers looking like tonight? Tonight, the Knicks had, in the turnover department, got to go back. We had 16 turnovers, not horrible, but the Celtics only had 9. Right, 16 turnovers. Rebound, we evened them out on the rebounds. Did we keep them out the paint? No, we did not. did not keep him out the paint. They scored 58 points in the paint. That was one of our keys to the game. They scored 58 in the paint. Execute down the stretch. There was no stretch. Easy as that. So that's a thumbs down. There was no stretch for us. All right. You know, the game was just out of control tonight. Just out of control. Well, coming down to the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Was there a player of the game tonight for the Knicks? Anybody? Do you think there was a player of the game? I'm having a hard time finding one. To be honest with you. Having a hard time finding a player of the game for the Knicks. No one really played well. At all. So I'm going to come to you. I want to let me know. Do you think there was a player of the game? If so, who? And then tell me what you think about the Knicks in Brooklyn. All right? I'm coming to you, Mark. Hope you're ready. I'm coming to you.
Down to those pigs.
Hey, Mark. You hear me, Mark?
Yo, I'm coming.
All right.
What you saying now, sir?
I said, do you have a player of the game for the Knicks tonight? If so, who? Why? And then tell me what you think about New York and Brooklyn.
Do you think there was a player of the game tonight, the way this game was played?
I really can't see a player of the game, man. I don't know if there's a player of the game tonight.
It was just all horrible from defensively. Tim Hardaway sucked. He was just taking shots where it's like, yo, just get off the court. Cantor was just getting pick and roll to death. Mm-hmm. Kyrie was just lighting up Moutier. It was just unwatchable. I don't even want to get mad. It was just unwatchable. And let me ask you a question. Did you hear the Boston announcer? I had to change my television.
No, I didn't.
Yo, the guys that call the Boston games, they are like, when it comes to their Boston team,
it's serious.
Yo, bro.
I was talking about that earlier. I hate
they
watching
clown
games
other
with
teams,
them.
Bro.
Yeah, I hate watching games with them. I can't stand watching games with them. It's terrible.
And what people don't understand, Boston, like Boston Beantown, y'all should know about Boston Beantown, man. Those people ain't.
They serious about their team. Hey, tell me, what do you think about Knicks Brooklyn? What do you think?
I guess, another, New York against, dirty BK, there's going to be a fight, It's going to be a fight, but I think we're going to take the dub. Let me ask you a question. Because I heard y'all speaking of that John Wall contract. I literally almost cried.
Hey, Mark, can you turn that down in the back?
Oh, my bad. I literally almost cried hearing that the Knicks might trade up for John Wall.
Yo, it's crazy. His contract is just nuts, man. I want nothing to do with it.
He's about his last year, and it's a player option, so he's gonna take that. It is damn near $50 million.
Yo, John Wall's contract is nuts. He makes $19 million this year. Next year is 38. The year after that is 41. The year after that is like 44. Then the last year is like 47. It's crazy. It's just it's crazy.
Even if John Wall was healthy and there was a chance that we got him, I still wouldn't want him. You know why? He parties, and he parties hard. And just imagine if he came to New York, he would have got this extra clout he would have got nowhere else. And then these New York City clubs, oh my God, he'd have been the next Marbury. On God, he'd have been the next Marbury, and he got paid $192 million with that money in New York.
The kid got paid,
come on,
man.
And he does that in DC, and DC has like one of the best women. Come on,
yo, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm staying away from that contract. All right, so Knicks Brooklyn, man. Who do you got winning it?
I got the Knicks, man. We're gonna play hard. It's gonna be a tight game because, Brooklyn play hard. They don't give up. So, they're gonna go at it because, they're gonna go at it for, the stakes of, who's the better team in New York, even though we both suck. But, Knicks, I got the Knicks for that game.
You got us pulling that one out. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I hope so, man. I'd like to see us come back and get another win. All right. See us come back and get another one. Let me see. Guillermo, I'm coming to you, man. Do you have a player tonight
Yo, only player tonight, man, is Allonzo's mom and aunt for what they doing, man. This team don't deserve no damn player tonight, man. We this is pathetic, man. Like, I don't want to get players, man. I got an anti-player, and that's Fizdale, man. I don't know what the hell he's doing. But shout out to Trier's mom and his sister, man. They the real heroes tonight, bro.
Yeah, that's the truth. They definitely are. They're the real heroes tonight, my man. What do you think about Brooklyn, New York, and Knicks? Do we get a win?
Sure, why not? Someone's gonna go off. It's gonna be one of those games we play up because it's Brooklyn versus New York. Someone's gonna play ISO. We're not gonna, it's not gonna be a game where you see a strong system or anything. It's gonna be someone going off. So, pick and play. Do you think it's gonna be Moutier going off? Do you think it's gonna be maybe Dotson going off? But if Dotson goes off, he plays more of a system player. He comes around curls, makes smart shots. So if Dotson goes off, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
If anyone else goes off, you're happy, but it's like, it's the Nets. So whatever.
Yeah. Right now the Nets are 8-18. The Knicks are 8-18.
Some crappy teams. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. So we'll see what they do.
Yep.
All right. Let me see. Let me get around. Aunt G, you got to play the game tonight? You got to play the game?
No, not really, I guess. Nah, no, I don't.
I don't blame you.
Nah. It's just hard. It would be one thing if we lost, but somebody had like a great game. But I can't even think of somebody had a great game tonight. I think it was just, no, I don't think nobody deserves it tonight. Hopefully next game, though.
Yeah, this game was just blah.
Yeah.
It was just blah. Yeah, that's it, man. Yeah. What do you think? Knicks, Boston, what do you think?
Man, Brooklyn Nets fans and the Brooklyn Nets are like the Mets. Like, they hate the Knicks, but we don't really care. Right. I feel like Mets fans hate the Yankees, but we don't really care.
Right.
I just don't like it's to them. I think they care about that New York thing, and it's kind of like the little brother complex. So they always. They play hard anyway, but I feel like they always play like a little extra harder against the Knicks. But I think we'll win. Is that the Garden or is it in Brooklyn?
I think it's at the Garden.
Never mind. It doesn't matter. It's a home game anyway.
Yeah,
it's a home game anyway.
Basically.
But it's at the Garden. Yeah, I think we'll win. I think Tim, because Madison Square Garden, Tim Hardaway Jr. is kind of different than, Road Tim Hardaway Jr. So I think Tim Hardaway has a pretty big game. I think Cantor has a big game because he matches up well against them, and I think we win. We win.
All right.
Get some good vibes flowing.
Okay. Let me get Sleepyhead over here. Going to sleep. Isaiah, what you think, man?
First, I am a little tired. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I know. What do you? Do you have a player of the game?
Allonzo's their mother and his auntie.
Yeah, of course.
Hey man, they're a beautiful Blazing woman.
And Knicks, Brooklyn. You still there? What happened? You fall asleep on him?
Me?
What's up?
Nah.
I don't know what he's doing.
I thought you just you were talking. I was trying
I don't know what he's doing. Knicks, Brooklyn.
You crazy, sir. There's no play. There was no play of the game. This was just a very bad game. It just sucked. Brooklyn versus Knicks. We're gonna win, and I think Courtney Lee is gonna be a big game, and then we're gonna trade Courtney Lee.
What?
I don't know what he said. I don't know what Isaiah's sleeping, dude. Like Isaiah got cobwebs right now. I don't know what he's.
No, wait. I said Courtney Lee's gonna have a big game, and then we're gonna trade Courtney Lee.
Okay. In the next couple of days, that's your prediction, huh? We're gonna trade him in the next couple of days.
I think they're gonna trade Courtney Lee, man. I really do.
Next couple of days.
All right, we'll see what's up. I don't know about it. Well, something has to happen with Allonzo Trier's contract, and they got to free up some space. So I don't know if it's gonna be Courtney Lee. I'm gonna ask you guys something after I get Nate's point of view. I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna get something a little bit new. I want to hear from you guys. Nate, real quick, do you have a player of the game in Knicks?
Yeah. My player of the game is Frank, man. Showing his worth on the bench.
Well,
hey, man, it's true, dude. The better team with defense and true point guard. Shit. Sorry.
All right. Knicks Brooklyn. What do you think?
Oh man, we don't play any damn defense. We're gonna lose. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna win.
All right.
So,
okay.
yeah.
This is what I want. This is what I want from you guys. Over the Knicks, we have it's 12-7. We probably need to do something about Trey's contract in the next week by 12-15. Right? Listen, he's gonna be on the Knicks. Ain't no way. There's no way that they're gonna let him go to the G League. That'd be dumb. Okay, so I'm gonna start with you, Nate. Give me an unpopular opinion of what's gonna happen in the next week. Unpopular opinion. Something that you
mean like just something out of the blue?
Something that you know is something that you think could happen that is not going to be popular with the Knicks fans. Unpopular opinion.
Frank's gonna still be on the bench.
Well, yeah.
Well, you say unpopular? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I got to get your thinking caps on for this one. It's tough. See what you got.
That's a tough one. Yeah, give me a sec here. Unpopular
opinion. Steaming.
Unpopular opinion.
Got his brain humming, folks. He can't even think. Look at him. He's holding his head. You know what I'm saying? He's cracking his noggin.
Oh, man, way to put me on the spot. And of course, I'm the first one, too. Unpopular opinion. Shut up.
Want me to come back to you? I'll come back to you.
Yeah, come back to me, okay, please.
I'm going to come back to you. All right, I'm going to come to Ant. Unpopular opinion. What happens in the next 2 weeks? Give me an unpopular opinion of what something you think is going to happen in the next 2 weeks.
Frank is traded to Orlando.
Whew. Frank traded to Orlando. Okay. That would be unpopular with Knicks fans. For half of Knicks fans. The other half would rejoice. For half of the Knicks fans, it'd be unpopular.
That'll hurt me, man. I may shed a tear if that happened.
That'll hurt me too. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. All right, let me see. Isaiah, I'm coming to you. Unpopular opinion.
I joined the Knicks.
Yeah, that'd be pretty unpopular by 99.
Actually, we'll go 18. We go 82-0. No, actually,
by 99.99999% of all Knicks fans, that 0.000% probably your mom.
It's all right. All I need is Tony Crow. That's all I need is Tony Crow. No, Tony Crow wouldn't even know what the hell going on. But no, but I think unpopular, which would make 100% of the team mad, 100% of the fan base mad, would be if we trade for John Wall and we get John Wall and we get that 15% trade kicker and we trade Kevin Knox, Damian Dotson, and Frank Ntilikina.
Yeah, that'd be really unpopular. That'd be real unpopular. Oh man, people will burn down the garden for that. I can guarantee it. They burn down the garden for that. All right, Mark. I'm interested to hear this one. Maybe I save Mark for last. I'm gonna save Mark for last. I'm interested to hear Mark's because, I'm going to save Mark's for last. Guillermo, unpopular opinion, what might happen in the next 2 weeks?
In the next 2 weeks, unpopular opinion, we beat, who do we got? We beat a really tough team. I don't know who it is, but we have a convincing win against a really tough team. A really unpopular opinion, and I want to steal from Mark. I'm not gonna steal from Mark, but it has to do with a player release. But I'll just say we get a really convincing win against a top team, and that gets everybody saying that Knicks has potential. We have potential, and we really don't. But
let's see who we got coming up. We got Brooklyn. We got Brooklyn on Saturday. We got Charlotte on Sunday. Cleveland on Wednesday. Charlotte on Friday. Indiana on Sunday, on the following Sunday, the 16th.
Oh, you know what, Sim? My bad. I take that back. Unpopular opinion, there's trade rumors get stronger that we trade for Kemba Walker.
Yeah, okay. They might get stronger that we trade for Kemba Walker. All right. All right, Nate, I'm coming back to you. I'm gonna save Mark for last. Nate?
So is this something that we kind of like just think could happen, or are we just kind of making a bold possibility?
Possibility that would be very
so this is pretty damn bold.
Okay.
KP says he wants to test the market and forces our hand on an extension.
Dang, in the next 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
His team comes around and says, hey, he wants to test the free market, or you give him the deal.
Huh.
You never know, man.
You never know.
Could happen.
You never know. I mean, that would cause.
He said bold.
Uproar. Yeah, that's
that
bold.
would piss off people.
That would cause an uproar. I could tell you that.
Oh hell, they probably burned the garden down after that one.
that caused an uproar. All right, Mark, I'm coming to you, man. I want to hear what you got to say. All right, Mark.
You want to hear my popular opinion?
Unpopular opinion.
Unpopular?
Yeah. Yep.
Tim Hardaway get traded.
To where? For what? I think half the Knicks fans will love that.
Well, and my unpopular opinion that let's say Kevin Knox flirt around with a 35-plus game.
Yeah,
going against the Nets.
Please let Kevin Knox do that. Let's see. One of those is gonna be coming. It's gonna be coming.
That's what I'm waiting for. I'm really waiting for a 35-point game because I want to see how he'll put up 35.
Yeah, that's gonna be coming. I don't know if that's exactly unpopular opinion, but that's gonna be coming. I can guarantee it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to my unpopular opinion. My unpopular opinion is that Frank is going to get traded. That's my unpopular opinion, that Frank is going to get traded, and that we're going to bring back a contract that basically the Knicks are going to look to trade Frank, get some assets, and try to get a star player, even though we're not ready for it, and it's going to look like stuff that we've done in the past. That's my unpopular opinion. That it's going to look like stuff that we've done in the past, like what Phil Jackson did with Derrick Rose. Right? It's going to look like that. Unpopular opinion. We'll see what happens. I'm a little bit afraid of it too. All right. But listen, I'm down to the end of the show. Before I get to the end of the show, before you guys start logging off, as soon as I say we're down to the end of the show, man, people start jumping off. So before I jump off, please remember to support women in need. The WIN program, the largest provider of shelter and supportive housing for homeless families in New York City. Supporting ISOZO's Built for This campaign. Right? The WIN program has invested in over 200,000 families in New York City. 56,000 families tonight. Right now, 56,000 families. Right now, as we speak, 56,000 of your neighbors are sleeping in homeless shelters. 26,000 of those are children. So we're asking for your support, ladies and gentlemen. Asking for your support. You can donate. I'm putting the link in the chat box right now. You can donate right here. Right? And it'll be open for a week. So go ahead and donate. Please help us out. We're trying to get to $1,000. All right. Share it on Facebook. Share it on Twitter. Share it wherever you can share it. All right. So I'm going to come around. We're going to get our last words in. Isaiah, I'm starting with you. Last words of the night, man.
Last words of the night.
Yeah.
Nights like this, I wish raindrops will fall.
That's your last word? You done?
No, man. I thought it was the 5 heartbeats for a second. No, great show tonight. Sim, real talk, man. I'm really proud of you for what you did tonight.
Appreciate it.
And we're going to help a lot of families. In all seriousness, can we all just, we all spend money on BS. Can we just all take time to help somebody else out and, at least donate $10, a few dollars so we can help these people out. There should be no reason why children out here sleeping in the cold, sleeping in homeless and shelters, and a lot of stuff goes on in shelters that people don't even know and not to get really real, but things happen to people. People get hurt. People get things stolen. People get raped. So I think we should all at least donate whatever we have or whatever you can, so that we can help these people out. Because I think they need us, and I think we're the people that's supposed to help them. So let's all just chip in. There's whatever you can. And let's support these people so they can at least be in a nice place for the holidays, and they can be safe, and their little kids can have somewhere to be safe so nothing happens to them. So let's just all support and let's all do our thing.
That's it, man. Definitely. And, I don't care if it's $1, man, $1.50, whatever it is, let's try to support. Let's try to support. And, if you have, I'll be doing this once a month. Right, once a month, I'm going to, campaign to support an organization, nonprofit organization. If you have an organization that you would like to support, that's close to you, send it to me. Email me. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put something on my website. It's not there now, but I'll put something on my website. It'll be there tomorrow, where you can, you can fill it out and, send it to me, and I'll start. I'll check it out, make sure it's cool. Maybe I'll talk to you, find out, get some information, and maybe even have you come on the show and talk about that organization and why we should support it. And we're gonna try to do some good. We have a platform, and we can do some things with this platform. So if you have some some nonprofit organizations or some things, even if it's not nonprofit, but it's just something that you would like for us to help support, just hit me up. All right, hit me up. Here's my website. You guys can go on the website, and you can actually, there's a way that you can contact me on there right now. Okay, and contact me. Tell me a little bit about the program. All right, and we'll see what's up with it. All right. Is that Esco? It says Esco the Don, the realest Knicks fan, Knicks and Giant fan. Is that like the old? Is that the old Esco? If so, Esco, call me. I don't know if that's the old Esco or not, but call me. You know what I mean? All right. Isaiah, I appreciate your last words, man. And I'm taking you out the chat. All right.
Yo, I just, I know the Knicks brass they probably not watching, man. But
probably not.
Or they probably are. Who knows? But I just want to say that before we give up on Frank, man. I think Frank need one last stand. All these trade rumors swirling around. I don't think that's an accident. Do I think the Knicks are shopping Frank? No. But I don't think they're giving up the impression that he's off limits. So I think teams know that if they present an offer to the Knicks like that, Frank is movable. But I just want to see Frank get another shot, man. I kind of liked that he got a little testy with that reporter. It shows me that there's some fight there, and that I think we all know he cares. But it's good that he kind of showed it a little bit. That he's not content with just sitting on the bench.
Right.
Because that was one of the things I was worried about. That he would sit on the bench and he'd be okay, just being a good teammate. And it's good to see that he's not okay with just sitting on the bench. So right. I think when Frank gets back in the rotation, because I think he will get another shot. And when he gets back in the rotation, I think he's gonna play with a different attitude. So. Who knows? Maybe this. That's why I'm not really knocking Fizz for it right now, because who knows? It may work.
So I'm hoping so, man. I'm hoping so.
Fizz may just be pushing the button right now. Yeah. Phil Jackson did it. That's what Phil Jackson was great at. Pushing those buttons and getting the most out of his players. And maybe Fizz is just trying to bring that dog out of Frank, and maybe it's gonna work. So I want to see how Frank responds, and I think the way Frank responds when he comes back, I think that's going to determine his future with the Knicks. And I have faith in the kid, so I can't wait to see it.
All right, man. I appreciate it. I'll be back on Saturday night.
Definitely, sure. I'll be here.
All right. Peace, man. Peace.
All right, man. Peace.
Nate, I don't know. You still there? You still there? All right, Nate, showing you, my brother.
Oh man, well, Sim, great interview with Mama Trier and Auntie. Man, I can't say it enough. If you got a mom next to you, or you talk to your mom tomorrow, tell her you love her, man. Tell her, thank you for everything you do, because anybody knows that the mom's heart is greater than anything out there. I mean, moms always think about their kids over and beyond.
Yeah.
And, it was awesome to hear, her tell stories about Zoe and kind of how they went to go play basketball and how she stood up for him, when he was younger, and said, hey, no, this is our court. We paid for it. You're going to have to wait.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was awesome, and so, just that was just awesome, just awesome to hear her humanize her son and talk about stories like that. I'd love to see if, maybe Evie work the right connections, maybe bring on the moms of other players, because, all we know is what we see on the court. We don't know who these people are, off the court, or what they're like when they're children and all that. And I just thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
Kind of made me look at Trier differently now.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, no, I mean, great interview as always. And, the last thing about Frank, man, I'll say is, like Ant said, we can't trade this guy. He's only 20. I mean, unless you're going to get something good in return, then do it. But I don't even know what good is. I mean, you got a 20-year-old point guard that's still trying to figure it out. You could bring in somebody else, but are they going to be as good potentially as Frank? Who knows? So the Knicks got to be real careful with that, because they got a lot of good young pieces. They got the right salary cap right now. They're doing hitting all the right buttons. We don't need to go backwards.
Yeah.
So.
All right,
man.
All right, Nate.
Have a good night.
Have a good one, man. I'll catch you on Saturday.
Have a good night.
All right.
Later.
Peace. Mark, it's on you, my man.
Yo, that was Esco in the chat, and he's in the chat room. They let him out of the retirement home for stealing apple juice.
Yeah. I see him in there. We get him to call in, and we'll get him back on here calling in.
He's embarrassed. That's why he was away from the show.
Yeah.
He was embarrassed.
We'll
Tell him to stop before I get on his whole ass. But anyway, great show tonight. I like everything that you're doing. Bringing the family together and whatnot.
Yeah.
Positive energy. Even though this chat is just like dangerous. It's negative. It's negative, but see you next show.
All right, man. Catch you next show.
Keep you up. It's damn near 2:00.
Almost 2:00 in the morning, man. It's 2:00 in the morning. We still got some people on here. We've been on here for almost 3 hours. Right?
Yeah, because they nosy.
We still got some people on here, man. So, big shout out to them. They support us, man. They support us. And you gotta love it. Gotta love it. They support us. Yeah, so I'll catch you on Saturday, man.
I see you, Sim.
All right, peace. Peace. All right, ladies and gentlemen. And again, I want to thank all of you. For taking the time. Those who have donated. We're on our way. We're on our way to that $1,000. You're trying to raise that $1,000. We're on our way. We're almost there. Well, we're not almost there. I'm sorry. We're on our way. We're about $200 in. Right. Hopefully we can get some more. And like I said, if you can't donate, I get it. That's okay. Right. Like Ms. Trier said, go out and volunteer somewhere if you can't donate. Right. Just take a little bit of time. Take an hour in a week. Go spend some time with someone that could use your help. Right. But if you can't donate now, it's going to be available all week. All right. We're trying to get up to $1,000. It's going to be available all week. All right. I can't stress to you. Some of you listening may know. Some of you listening may have been, a part of some things that impacted your life, and some of you listening may have had family members who's been in situations that impacted your life. So you know what it is, and you know how it feels, and you know that anytime that you can give, anytime that you can spend, And I know you come here. I know that you come here to sometimes get away from it, but sometimes, you know, we got to bring people back so that we can all take our part to give back to those who may need that help, that may need that support. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that support doesn't always come in money. I know I'm asking for donations, but it doesn't always come there. Like I said, you can spend the time. You can take the time to volunteer. Sometimes it's just saying hi to someone when you're checking out in the supermarket. You're checking out and you say hi, ask them how their day is. You never know. You know what I'm saying? You just never know. But I thank you guys for being on and listening. Like I said, once a month, I'm going to do this. And if you have any organizations or something that you really think needs the support, hit me up. Okay? Hit me up. And we'll see if we can maybe get you on the show to talk about it or someone else on the show to talk about it, and we'll support it. You know, but let's be there for our community. Let's be pillars of our community. You know what I'm saying? And help out where we can, however we can. I appreciate you all for being on here. I really do. Taking the time. It's 2:00 in the morning and you're still on listening to me rattle off. All right. So I really appreciate it. I love all you guys. And I will see you guys on Saturday night after the Brooklyn-New York game. New York-Brooklyn game. However you want to say it. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Peace.